either go to jail or fight. And I was like, well, I'm not going to jail.
You looted their dead mother.
I saw a dead body. I was gonna loot it. I was like, oh,
That's crazy. Let me get in character. That's a lie. My neck just hurts.
I was like, isn't your character just you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm always
There
in
it is.
character.
Perfect. There he is.
Oh my God. All right. Week 5.
Week 5, baby.
Week 5, baby.
I thought it was week 6. Am I?
I lied. It's week 7.
Wait. No way. We're keeping that.
It's week fucking 7.
It's
keeping
week
that.
7 for sure.
Yeah, that's staying in.
I was like, I thought we had 6 recorded.
I'm not starting this fucking recording again. Week 7. Week 7.
Leave it to the air conditioning to turn on
It's okay. They can
right
hear us.
as we start recording.
Yeah, but you know the best part is we can leave that on now because look what we got.
Yes, sir.
Look what we got.
Upgrade.
Upgrade. Oh man, the fucking expensive upgrade too, but that's okay.
At some point, we should have an intro.
Nah,
Well, like an intro that we say, because the YouTube has
I
something.
was gonna say I already
like
have an intro on the YouTube.
But we could do some kind of like vocal intro that we do. But
Yeah, that's called Welcome Back. It's week whatever the fuck.
yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah, I say
Except
I would
for
say so.
today.
It's okay. This is what the people want to see anyway.
True.
Anywho, so week 7. I've been at this for quite a while. I was just putting together episode 3, and that went up today actually. So for the next probably next week, 2 weeks, I think there's going to be 4 episodes pretty much coming back to back more or less to go on and get us caught up so that we can be pretty current to anytime we have these conversations, because it's like things go on and we talk about it, and I don't want to have a situation where we're like talking about something today that just went on, such as a pretty big piece of news that just went on in the YouTube world. We'll talk about that later, and then is not coming out on YouTube for like another 4 to 6 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna get those. I think I talked about it on the last episode, but I'm gonna go on and do that. So every Tuesday and Thursday for the next like 2 weeks, an episode's gonna go up, which is good.
Okay.
It's gonna really push my editing.
I was gonna say,
schedule.
if that's what you want to do with the editing, that's
it. I've gotten
Go
editing
for it.
down to like a 6-hour process, and I think I can get that even shorter soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, killing it with the editing.
Yeah, I just can't wait till I don't have to be the one to do it no more. Which means y'all need to like and subscribe.
Do it right now.
Yeah,
ring,
do
ring
that.
a ding ding. That
Ring-
bell.
Yeah, hit that bell.
I subscribed yesterday, so
Oh, it's good.
Nice.
You know what? Better late than never. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Shit. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what we're doing wrong. Tell us what we could be doing better. Tell us what we're doing great. I don't really care. Just engage with the video because we need that right now. We're in the growth stage and we need that growth.
Need
but
that
yeah.
growth.
How
getting a whole 6 views.
yeah. Shit.
I'm actually very proud of that.
I'm very proud of that,
I'm very
honestly.
proud of that.
Thank you
too.
to the whole 6.
Hell yeah.
There have been a few people, like, close friends of
Mhm.
ours and some other people within our circle who have like shared stuff on Twitter and
very,
have talked
very-
about it before with us. And
Very supportive, and I'm super appreciative of that.
yeah, absolutely. So thank you guys. If
Thank
you're
you.
listening or you're watching,
You know
thank
who you are.
guys.
Yeah, with that, how you guys been?
Been all right.
Yeah.
Things have been again, I think I said this like the first or second episode, but things are just, crazy. So I'm going to say things are all right, but things are typically always usually pretty wild,
That's fair.
but we manage it well. We
That's
manage
fair.
it well.
Fluff, how about you, man?
Good. Things are good.
Fair enough.
How about you, Blitz?
Shit, I'm doing gravy, man.
Did you say gravy?
Yeah,
I don't
Okay.
know if I would stick my dick in that.
That sounds like quitter talk to me.
You got to give your 100% in everything.
Everything, bud.
Everything.
That's the special song.
In everything. All right. So we're gonna start this off with something from Reddit. This was a pretty interesting little thread I came across. It is from r/ask. This one is, and I'm still doing the thing. I noticed.
I heard it.
I'm trying to get away from it, but it's gonna be there. It's okay. Actually, no. Before I get into the Reddit thing, something I was gonna say. Episode 3 is gonna look like fucking ass.
What?
I don't know what happened when we recorded.
Oh,
but I think it was I don't know. I think the lighting was just really dark, and it is nasty. It don't look good. It looks very muddy. It is not a great look, but that's okay. Like I say that's okay. There was a period where I was like, do I just skip episode 3? I was like, nah, it'll go up. It's a podcast. Probably we want y'all to be able to see our lovely faces, but episode 3 might I mean, it's too late now, but if you're going back, might want to watch not watch that one, might want to listen to that one as a
get
as an
your
audio
headphones
podcast.
out, kids.
Yeah, this is the one for when you're working out or driving or doing anything where you don't have to look at the screen, because
That's me.
oh boy, it don't look great. It don't look good.
Slow upgrade.
upgrades.
We replaced some of the lights down here.
Yep.
Is that because you can see us in the camera frame, or is it just like other things?
You mean why we shouldn't watch episode 3?
I'm just making a joke about us being ugly.
I figured. I was just trying to see where you were getting on that joke. Yeah, no. So episode 3 looks kind of nasty. 4 and 5 look better. Might not be the greatest looking thing in the world, but it'll look okay. But now with the lights being different and actually having proper light in here, we should look not crisp, but pretty okay.
Acceptable?
Acceptable.
Yeah.
Acceptable. One of the next big things I want to get. I don't know how far. I didn't even hear him, and I know what he said.
I'll have to listen to that one back with these brand new mics, so I'll be able to hear it.
Now that we have the mics in for now, and they're not like the world's greatest mics, but they're like for our purposes right now, they're pretty good.
Playback sounded pretty great. Yeah.
Playback is sounding really good.
Significant improvement.
Way better than our last little setup of a single. And I ain't saying shit against Samson, because those Samson mics, that thing's been putting in work for me for 6-7 years now.
Oh yeah, it is a
good
mic.
mic.
Good.
It's a good mic, but it is not. It was. We were pushing it to its limits.
It was a singular mic trying to catch all 3 of our voices and our cameraman in the back
in an untreated recording setup.
Yeah,
so
it was working over.
Fucking Samson, y'all make some good shit, man.
I'm a quiet boy.
You are a quiet boy.
Not anymore.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Whatever you want it to mean.
I'm gonna have you squealing like a pig, boy.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, I think the next upgrade I do want to get, or the next thing I want to focus on when we can, is getting that camera upgrade and finally getting like a proper recording video camera.
Agreed.
That's gonna be one down the road. Like, y'all gonna really have to put in some support for that one to come in. But right now we're gonna kind of just keep it where it's at and keep making this happen and just keep doing it.
Yeah. So like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more of this and have it be better.
Yes. If y'all want this to be better, y'all want shit to be better. Things don't happen for free, and they don't happen cheaply. So if you want to support, or if you want things to be better, you got to support. And that goes for anything you enjoy, any kind of media you like.
Like, comment,
I remember when they used to do it just for fun and not the money.
Shut up.
This is fun. Asking you guys
sellouts.
for money.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
I've been here to sell the whole time. I've been very transparent about that.
Yeah, I've told y'all I'm a whore, and I will whore myself off for money.
Episode 1.
We did say it.
The first thing that came out of this man's mouth, the first few things you heard on episode 1
is I want glory.
He was not trying to hide anything.
Honestly, it is literally the first thing you hear in the episode, because I edited that into the beginning. Like, I'm not lying to y'all. I want shit.
Second, the moment you hit play, second 000.
Oh man. All right. Okay. Anywho, that's all about our setup. So, from Reddit, what is something you can say? I'm with the boomers on this one about. This one was really interesting because there's some stuff in there where I'm like, yeah, I get it. The example the OP gave on this one, I don't agree with, but it's scanning QR codes for a restaurant menu is ridiculous. And I'm like,
Disagree.
I actually disagree with that one.
I wouldn't say it's ridiculous. No.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's inconvenient. Sometimes.
Well, the funnier part is most of the time I'm going on my phone to look at the menu first anyway. So
right. Or looking
like,
up with like the food
right.
items or whatever. Right. Like, what does this look like? Let me go to Google and type in this, meal thing that's on here.
I get some people like having that physical, like tactile experience. Actually, usually I am one of those people. But when it comes to something like getting a menu, it's not inconvenient whatsoever. It takes like 5 seconds. If you can't figure out how to use a QR code in this day and age, you belong in a nursing home.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I mean, the irony of someone who has posted to fucking Reddit going, I don't like having to use my phone that's already probably in my hand. I bet that's where it's coming from, is the snobbish, like, dinner is not a time for having your phone out type BS.
Oh, is that where he's coming from?
I don't know. Like, he didn't say. He's just, that's where I'm guessing it's coming from. But
no, like when I was saying, yeah, like the QR codes, I was saying, I feel if they're forcing that, if they don't have physical menus and they're like just scan, I do feel that is a little bit inconvenient at times, because like Fluff, I too am like that. I like to have something physical, and if you have a QR code, that's cool. I'll probably use that too. I'll use both.
use both?
Yeah, especially if they have like little special menus sometimes, like the physical specials. It's like, hey, here are drinks. It's like a little piece of paper. Like that would be fine with the QR code, but a lot of times, if it's just right there in front of me, I'm just going to pick it up.
Well, here's the other thing, right? Like a menu ends up being as a whole ritual with the server where they're trying to get out of your hands as quickly as possible. Like, but you don't necessarily know what you want to drink. And then there's like desserts. What are you going to do for that? That was on the menu they took away. You don't remember what that is. What if you came here to just like have a couple drinks and shoot the shit and you don't actually need the food, but then they take the drink menu and then you're like, hey, actually, I needed that. Can you bring that back? And sometimes that can be terribly inconvenient, and you can just have that shit on your phone.
Yeah.
That's when they are convenient.
Use cases.
Yeah, that's why I said both sometimes. It's like sometimes it's nice to have options. It's nice to have options.
I guess my thing is I can understand not wanting to have to use a QR code, but I don't think I agree with calling it ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Your mom's ridiculous.
Got her.
You don't talk about my mother that way.
Shit, one sec, guys. My most compatible on Hinge has been updated.
Oh God, get off your phone.
How many matches you get today?
None.
Damn.
I don't match with people on Hinge on a regular basis. Otherwise, there's too many people.
Okay. Well, okay.
Wow.
Okay. He says he's in there.
Out here just flexing on motherfuckers,
he says
man.
He stays full with his DM.
Okay.
I struggle to have a conversation with like 3 people at the same time, let alone like 5 or 6. I can't.
Just keep on flexing there, bud. Anyway, here's one that I actually agree with. I want to talk to a person in customer service, not a machine.
Oh my God.
That's not a boomer opinion. That's a universal.
That's just universal human experience.
Dude, what?
Get those anymore.
Yeah, like
you can if you press 0 enough.
Or say representative like 10 times.
Yeah, right.
It's possible. It's just difficult. But like
it is.
Because the people, they can make shit happen, right? They have options and problem solving skills versus a system that's just like.
See, now the thing is, if a company were to employ a AI model, and I know this is a kind of a hot topic thing, but hear me out. If a company employed an AI model that could dynamically answer questions and kind of search the whole database and get in contact with the people it needs to get in contact with, I'd be fine listening to the fucking machine. My biggest problem with like the automated option menus and shit is that they only give you like 9 options and most of them are useless.
Or not what you're wanting
or not
to do.
Absolutely
I don't
not
need to know what your fucking hours are. I have Google. I mean, maybe grandma does, but that's besides the point.
Right.
I didn't call to see what the soup of the day is. I called because I need to talk to somebody about the fact that, you know, there's like an urgent issue or like there's either something I can't do on your website, I need my money back, or something else. Like, and the other thing that's really frustrating about the systems is typically by the time I wind up in contact with the person, I'm in contact with the wrong person. And then they have to do the job that the system was supposed to do in the first place.
We'll transfer you.
We're going to transfer you, which that starts a whole nother fucking ordeal of now you got to play the fucking transfer tag of, look, Jody in fucking finance, this is where Kyle from fucking customer service told me I needed to be. He put me through here. I explained the problem to him. I'm going to explain this problem to you, and I swear to Christ, if you fucking transfer me to another department, I'm going to cuss somebody out. Yeah. And I'm trying real hard not to do that.
Jody, I called to activate my card. I entered it on my information. They told me it didn't exist. I don't know if this is the right place for it. Oh, you're transfer. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks, Jody.
Did you listen to the robot at the beginning of the call? Because you could have hit 1 and it would have...
Jody, I'm here because I hit 1.
It's like, I would say it's like a filter so that they don't get people like panicking because the chicky nuggies are out. But at a certain point, it should just go smoothly. Like
you would think, if I'm calling you because I'm like, I know exactly what I need. I don't want to make this fucking difficult. I don't want to be on this phone any more than you want to be on this phone right now. Can we just get through this? It's the amount of times I've had like explained a problem to somebody on the phone, and they just straight up, they respond to me, and it's clear they didn't listen to a word I said. Is some of the most frustrating shit I've ever had to do. Like,
so there is something I think that is barely acceptable. Which, have you guys interacted with those like text?
Yeah, those little chat on their website.
So when they inevitably end up with a person after a period of time, and the text chat is used to collect information, so that the person doesn't have to ask you questions, and that all that like shit they're gonna have to do anyways is already out of the way, so they can just get to helping you. That is actually nice.
That's pretty great.
I do agree. I love using those for that reason because it feels like you get to the answer quicker rather than just calling. And I also like the fact that maybe not all the time, but most of the time you can get that whole entire interaction like emailed to you or something like that, where it's like you can read that whole transcript, and then if anybody has a problem,
you have to sue the company.
You'd be like, I have a whole transcript of Bob, because you have the name of the person helping you or whatever. They said this, here's the transcript. It's like, oh yeah, okay. We'll transfer you.
I will say I have one tiny little problem with the text system, and it's not so much the text system. It's when you are waiting to be patched into a actual person, and because it takes them fucking 15 minutes to actually get to you, you kind of stop paying attention to the window, and then they're there for a minute, and they go, "Are you there? Guess you're not." Boop, closing this window. Oh my God. Dealing with StubHub was the most annoying experience I'd ever had to deal with.
I remember you complaining about.
Oh my God. Like we ordered those tickets to the Thundercat show in Chicago. It ends up turning around. We can't do it. I'm trying to like figure out, am I actually getting no, we couldn't do it because we didn't even know if we were getting the tickets or not. So we eventually had to like just cancel because we didn't have the tickets by the time we were supposed to have it. But I'm trying to contact StubHub. They won't give you the thing. Like a lot of websites don't even give you a number anymore. You have to do everything either online or through that little text service. And it kept like I would try to go like, look, I need customer service help of some degree. Let me do the live chat, whatever. It will take down the information and it'll go, we'll respond to you when someone gets to it. And I'm like, all right, 10 minutes later,
the next available representative,
right? Like 10 minutes later, well, I'm either like middle of my work day, so I'm still trying to work, and you don't have a tone on your text box, so I can't hear it when you actually get here. And I'll look over. Like the first time I was like, okay, I actually forgot. It's been like 40 minutes. I click back over. They've tried to contact me. Okay, whatever. That's on me. The second time they messaged me, Rueben, are you still there? Literally didn't even give me 30 seconds to respond.
as you were typing YES end call.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally, as I'm typing, yes, I'm here. They go, well, I'm ending the chat, and it's just ended. And that's the end of it.
I wonder how these people get paid. Like what is the system? Is it like for as long as the chat's open, you're getting paid, or is it like as you're...
No, I think they
probably earn an hourly wage, and then they're probably rated on how they probably have like a rating system on how many calls they clear, like efficiency or something like that.
And there's also a lot of call centers and a lot of stuff like that will actually penalize you for if you having a chat open for too long. Mm-hmm. Just like how in drive-thrus, they get...
That was the wildest thing.
That is the wildest thing to learn about. Joe was telling us about this.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That with drive-thru,
if you don't know what you want on a drive-thru menu, before you get to the speaker, it's best to pause, or like park before you get up to like the thing.
Because the
figure
second
out what you want, and then drive up.
Because the second you're in front of that speaker, a timer starts, and the worker who's working with you to get your order, they get punished for not getting you through because you didn't know what you wanted, and it's the dumbest thing in the fucking world.
Now, when I was working in food service, somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they want after they walk up to the register is the most annoying person.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting there and you're like, what do you want? And they're like, You love somebody decisive that knows their business. That's what I like in women. It's what I like in my customers. All right.
Yeah, I realized as we just brought this topic up, I am the worst customer.
Yes.
And my fiance tells me this a lot, and I've always thought I was getting better. But then I remember literally last week, I pull up to a Wendy's and I know what I want, but in that moment, I'm like, wait,
maybe I
know something. My fiance's back at the house. Let me call her.
No, you did not.
No, you did not, bro.
And so I order my thing and then I say, hold on a second. And I call her, and we have a whole 3 to 4 minutes.
I was gonna say, because when you call Michaela for something, it's not short.
It's not short.
I made sure this one was definitely shorter, but we do the whole thing of, hi, how are you? I have like the window cracked a little bit. I'm not thinking about it. And so it's like, your day good? Yeah, work good? Yeah. So are you hungry at all? And she's like, well, I have something back at the house, I was just playing. I was like, well, I'm actually out, and I'm in front of Wendy's.
Oh my God.
Do you want something? And she's like, oh, you're gonna get something? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go get something. Well, I already ordered. I'm actually in front of the intercom right now. She's like, oh, okay. In that case, do they have chicken nuggets? And I was like, well, actually, she's like, what do they have? I'm like, well, they got nuggets.
What
they got burgers. They got fries. We have this whole conversation.
Yeah, no, this is all going in this podcast.
You to die,
dude. Right. I've never worked food service a day in my life. You wouldn't believe it, but I've never actually had to work food service a day in my life, and I want to fucking murder you.
I can't believe
I did not think about it at all, and maybe that explains when I went to the window. The guy didn't necessarily look joyful to see me. But he didn't look
That dude
angry.
got sat down by the regional fucking manager and had to talk to them on why a call took 5 fucking minutes.
It was literally...
It's the drive-thru, Paul. It's the drive-thru, Jim.
Dude, I can't force these people to know what they want. Like, I'm sorry. Why did y'all put... The crazier part to me is that...
If you're going to start the timer there, why do you put the menu there?
Why do you put the menu there? If the idea is if you want the idea for them to know what they want, then... why don't we put the fucking menu ahead of the speaker so that when people get to the speaker, they're not sitting there going, Right.
Instead, they just put all the special shit
ahead of it,
hoping to get you to, buy that for an extensive price, right? Or an inflated price or whatever they're trying to push for that season. And then you get to the actual menu. But, at that point, it's like, oh, I know I don't want that special. So
clear case of oppressive business practices being prioritized over user experience.
And this is why we should eat the rich.
Get another reason.
Right.
How do we get there from agreeing with the boomers? It should always end there, though.
It should. Yeah, that's fair. Another good one that I'm actually kind of of two minds about. No, I don't need everything in my car to be electronic. Some stuff needs buttons.
I heavily agree.
I agree with that.
Teslas are cool.
They are,
but a lot of the conceptual things that we've seen
Mhm.
that it's like, oh, in 2030, whatever, this car will be auto drivable. It could drive anywhere, and you won't have any interface. You could just sit in this empty box.
I liked those two first points, and then you
Yeah.
lost me at the third one.
It's the empty box that I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever could.
I will say this. I am the kind of person, I like the bells and whistles. I like the future shit. I like the make my car as automated as you fucking want to, but don't leave me with no option if this shit stops working.
Mm-hmm.
I love when my wipers come on automatically. I love having like power heated seats and all that shit,
Mhm.
but don't remove my ability to turn, like don't remove the mechanical levers, because like the second that computer goes down or a fuse goes out that I
You're
can't deal
done.
with right now, that's just it. Like,
most of the time, you get to replace that head unit or some BS, and that's expensive.
Oh yeah, especially
Um,
for those type of cars, like nuts.
Yeah. Here's something I'm gonna say that I feel very strongly about. I don't know if you agree with me or not.
we'll see.
I want my buttons to be buttons.
But,
I
like-
want a tactile response. I want to click.
Yeah.
I want some kind of response when I press my buttons. None of this modern electronics like touch screen replication bullshit where you can't tell what the fuck happens every time you press a goddamn button. It's the most annoying thing I've ever experienced in my life, especially on dishwashers and washing machines when you're trying to like configure like some setup because you're
Yeah, when
so
they're capacitative.
genuinely awful because the interface, the displays on those are terrible.
So I was going to
There's
make a
like-
joke and to say that you're only upset about this because of your fucking mic light, but no, that's for real. Our microwave, the amount of times I've accidentally put in 20 minutes instead of 2 minutes,
Just
because like
leave it.
once I straight up like walked away and was like, man, this felt longer. No, I thought I had put 45 seconds on. It was 45 minutes and 55 seconds. And I had walked away, used the bathroom, came out, and I was like, man, the microwave's still going.
That's great.
That's nuts.
Wild.
Yeah, luckily I had caught it a minute and a half of my heating up my fucking Poptarts.
Yeah, what?
I know I should have used the toaster. I like to heat them up in the microwave because I don't know, I'm just fucking weird like that. But I was like, yeah, it was some really hot Pop-Tarts.
I can imagine.
I heat those bad boys on usually for like 35 seconds, and
Is
they
it
had
because it's
Why
fast
do
that
you do
in the
it?
microwave?
Why do you do it in the microwave? Is it just because of speed? Because it's lickety split?
lickety split mostly. I just like it warmed up.
Because like
Fair.
you don't get that good crisp. You don't
I
get
don't
that
want the
Maillard
crisp.
reaction. And I know the chemically what the microwave does to bread is it toughens it up, which can't be great on Pop-Tarts.
It doesn't really toughen it up to me.
Does it soften?
Well, because I also go on and eat it. It softens it.
Well, it pre-softens it, but after it's cooled down, it will be tougher than it was
Yeah,
before.
I'm usually
Yeah.
done with it before it's cooled down.
I wonder about Pop-Tarts.
Well,
I know
we-
bread does that.
I know bread does it. I'm not letting my shit sit the fuck out for 5 straight minutes.
Now,
That shit-
boys, tell me what a Pop-Tart's encased in.
No, I know what it's encased in. It's
Okay.
pastry dough.
All right. All right.
It's
just
still
make
technically
sure
a different kind of
we're
building
all on
bread,
the same
but-
page.
Yeah,
Because you told me that it does it to bread as if a Pop-Tart is an entirely separate category.
I would argue that pastry is different than the bread you're speaking of.
I think
No.
about rolls. When I think about how
Like,
that
there's-
reaction, I think about like rolls. Like I can't
Yeah.
put a dinner roll in the microwave.
like we're
heat it
talking
up,
like a
and
full
then-
like gluten.
Unless you got some vegan bread with no gluten in it, chemically they're extremely similar.
Okay, chemically they're similar, sure, but still.
Which is what's happening when
Either
you
way.
hit them with the microwave. Never-
yeah, but the thing is, I still like my Pop-Tarts that way. So
yeah,
fucking
to
super.
That's valid.
my point, it's weird that you do it in the microwave.
I don't fucking care. I'm not
but
the ones
we
eating it.
understand.
I like that crunch. I like that crisp. I like that Maillard
I
reaction. a little bit of
don't
browning.
care for mine to be super.
You know
crunchy.
what would be psychotic, but thinking about the conditions under which I like a Pop-Tart, it would be psychotic but acceptable. Is putting it in a pan and heating it on the stove.
No, that's psychotic.
It would achieve the same purpose, but it would be psycho behavior. It would be like I just moved into this house and I don't have a toaster anymore, but I want my Pop-Tarts hot. Like that's the only circumstance.
What if you put like a little butter in the pan and some brown sugar?
That sounds delicious, actually.
A Pop-Tart casserole?
That sounds pretty great, if we're being particularly honest.
Yeah, what about like putting it in the oven? Like
I feel like oven is an
put it on the stove before you would think about putting it in the oven.
See, but that's what makes it psycho behavior. Because the oven is the proper step. The oven was the proper next step after a toaster.
That's how I know I'm at least not psychotic.
No, motherfucker, you don't get to describe being in a goddamn drive-thru at the speaker for 5 minutes, calling your goddamn fiance to get an order.
But that was just ignorance.
Call him.
That was just ignorance.
I swear to God, if I am ever in a car with you, you do that.
Ignorance is a form of psychosis, in my unprofessional opinion.
That's fair.
Isn't that a range? Isn't that a spectrum?
Bitch, this ain't autism.
I wanted to.
That was one indicative of the other.
All right, we got the sound bit for the beginning of the episode. That's my fucking. That's the title. That's the title of the episode. Bitch, this ain't autism.
Dumbass motherfucker.
Oh my God.
Part 2, psychotic behavior.
Please write that down because that's the fucking title. Holy shit, sir, that is psycho behavior part 2. Bitch, this ain't autism.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh man.
Give me more hot takes.
Okay, I got more hot takes for you.
What?
For the love of all that is holy, can we fix the audio in movies so that the music and sound effects aren't drowning out the dialogue? There's a more interesting one thing about that.
I've learned things about this.
And I think you're going to actually bring this up, so let's go.
Yeah, I was going to say, because of now I am parroting somebody who made a YouTube video who is already not an expert, so I might get some things wrong. But from what I understand, the mixing that they do is typically for the Dolby Atmos system, which is something like 215 channels for the theater, right? And it's extremely complicated in order to mix all of those sounds and get them to mix properly, as well as the fact that we have a lot of fidelity and range in our mics, which allows for a lot of fidelity and range in performances, right? And so it can be it can be very challenging to take that shit that was built for the theater and distill that down and get it to sound good on a home studio consistently so that everything's audible, everything's legible, everything's well mixed, well balanced, right? And have the dialogue pop and come clear every single time. I personally, after examining it a little bit, I'm just gonna watch with subtitles.
Right? That's usually the thing. So that gets straight to the heart of what I was about to say too. And you obviously are more knowledgeable about it. But straight up, the thing is that a lot of music, movie audio is mixed for a theater setting, for a very specific theater settings, to the point that they actually send instructions to theaters about the way you're supposed to mix audio, the way you're supposed to set the audio mix, even for the theater itself. So you're getting something that is very heavily designed, very heavily engineered, and very often people at home are going to have specially modified sound setups to create the sound profile. That's why way back in the day on VHS, movies generally were re-engineered for home settings, just to be played on a regular ass TV. So I get the frustration on that one. That is a weirder topic of just kind of how digital distribution works.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Every store service does not need an app. So don't download it.
Yeah, but I want to shop with my phone.
I also want to shop with my phone.
I want to be able to go.
The less I have to interact with a person, the fucking better.
Yeah. Well, for me, actually, I think it's a little bit more about avoiding things like lines and saving time and locating things in the store than it is like interacting with people less. That's fine, but you can do like self checkout 90% of the time. If you're at Aldi, I want to interact with that person because they're like the super speed. But for me, it's more about the amount of time that it saves when I'm at the store, when I can scan that shit that's in my cart and just walk out.
Just walk the fuck out.
Yeah.
I long for the day we get an Amazon-esque service in all stores where it's like you walk in, it scans the thing on you, and it's like, all right, we know who you are, and you grab your shit and walk the fuck out, and it's like, all right, we know what card you got on file.
Whole Foods is almost like that.
Are they moving towards that? Actually, that doesn't shock me.
I was very surprised. I've never been to a Whole Foods before, except the one time, because, you know, where we get, well, okay. When we get our Amazon stuff and we want to return it, the closest thing to us is that Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, we'll return it at the Whole Foods. This one time I returned it and I was like, oh crap, we need some more stuff for the house.
Mm-hmm.
What does Whole Foods even do? Like, what is this place that I'm returning my Amazon stuff to? And it's like, yeah, just, you know, sign into your Amazon account, or if you have like a card, like just scan it here and we know your account. We pull up your stuff. If you have a card on file, we'll just pull it straight from your Amazon information.
Nice.
And just use that.
Hell yeah.
It's wild, actually. I was like, okay, I didn't know that their partnership went that deep.
Right.
What?
I know there's a subset of people that cringe at the idea of this, of like technological overreach, but
Well, there's a big difference between using technology to make your life easier and then taking that data
and using it in nefarious ways.
Yeah. Like,
Which is what I say, but I also understand the rebuttal to that being, what have companies done to ensure the trust that they won't?
oh, nothing.
Exactly. So I was like,
Our personal information is natural resources that's being mined by companies right now.
exactly.
basically.
So it's like I understand why some people don't like it, because they're looking more at what happens when they decide to use it in that nefarious purpose.
Now, am I happy that all of our technological advances are also being used to elevate capitalism?
Not really.
Not very happy.
Capitalism is shortly coming to a soon, maybe.
Yeah. But back to that initial kind of topic, it's basically more about apps for these stores, and
Restroom.
whatnot.
It says every store and service does.
Services. Period.
Yeah.
I need my points. Okay. I'm racking up all of the points and I'm going to use them to get my discounts.
I was gonna say, now my thing is on that front is, if you're gonna have a fucking point system, make it fucking worth it, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that like do the whole point system and they have you get the whole rewards card and you're doing the thing and it's like, your points mean nothing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your points are not worth much.
Yeah. I realized, I didn't know how like all the extent of like Myers M perks.
Oh yeah,
works
great.
But yeah, once I realized, oh crap, you can just like clip coupons and stuff right in the app, and then just go out, get the stuff, and then like you just sign in with your MPerks login stuff. It's like, oh boom, it applies all those coupons. That's nice. But then I was like, yeah, it's all of like the other little like things you can redeem with your points.
Yeah.
It's not as much as you would think, but I didn't really use any of them until I realized, wait, you can get a discount on gas if you go to a Meijer. And I had so many points racked up that I got like $20 off gas.
Nice.
I was like, okay, that's nice, but that took years.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it takes a long time to build up. Someone who has a shockingly really good reward system, Speedway. Speedway's points, you actually earn a decent amount at a pretty decent clip, and you can basically buy just about anything in the store, including gas. Like with like,
I heard that little.
I just caught it. Yeah,
Speedway.
like you can get like their catalog of stuff you can get, and for the amount of points you spend on it is not a lot. It's actually really good. Like, I think I got like 70 some odd thousand on mine right now because I just haven't had to use it in a long time. But there was times like in college, my fucking gas was paid for by Speedway points.
Wow.
Because it was just like I was because my aunt would use my Speedway card, my mom would use my Speedway card, and neither one of them would use the points. So I just accumulated on mine. So that was always really nice. So it's like, yeah, as long as there's some apps where it's like, it's less that I don't think they needed an app and more of I think they really need to think of why they have the app. But hey, and This one I do agree with 100%. Learning DIY skills is crucial. I had basically zero. They go on to say I had basically zero DIY skills when I bought my house because I had lived in apartments for so long, and I've had to learn a lot. YouTube tutorials are absolutely clutch. That is 100% correct. Absolutely. I agree with that one 100%. Know how to do things. Even like, and I'm somebody like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I pay for every one of my oil changes. At least know how to figure out how to do one if you need to. Like, know how to change your tire. Know how to jump a car. Excuse me.
Jump a car, all you need is legs. Unless you're going for the other kind of jump in a car, and then maybe you need like a couple baseball bats and some other intimidating friends.
God damn it!
But it's not that complicated.
I like. No, I'm not gonna engage with that one.
I actually thought that was pretty good.
But no, there's some soft skills, like not soft skills, but like there's just some like handy skills that even in the day and age of there's someone you can hire for it, or there's like some way it can be done. Knowing how to do it actually can save you a lot of money in the long run.
Yeah, I'm like you, who I'm one of those people. It's like, somebody else with a more professional level of skill can take care of this way better than I can DIY it. While that's true, it's costly. And yet I'm also that advocate. It's like, oh yeah, just look it up,
right?
You know, Google it. You know, you can figure it out, YouTube it. So I don't know. For me, that's definitely something that I want to get better at is just learning how to do stuff by myself, especially car stuff.
Car stuff
that's expensive.
It helped a lot that I have a dad who works on cars. It's like it was just been his thing since he was a teenager.
If I can do it myself, I'll do it myself.
Yeah. And I'm slowly getting to that point of if I can do it, I'm just gonna go on and do it. Oil changes, I'm still probably just gonna go to a dude and do because I don't want to get underneath my car. I'll be honest.
We have a master.
Oil changes are really easy.
I know they are.
The only exception for me, it's always a balance versus complexity, consequences if you do it wrong, and time investment.
Yeah.
Because like, let's say when the rear suspension on my vehicle got busted, like rusted out, like fell out of the bottom there, and the guy told me that I just needed a new car, and I was like, bullshit. But could I have put that shit up? Probably figured out some sort of a solution for that. Probably. I probably could have done that. But it would have taken me a significant chunk of time. I would have had to learn skills that I didn't have at the time. I would have had to purchase materials I didn't have at the time. Things I did probably would have gone wrong, and I would have had to like either fix those or redo those. And
it would have been exhausting.
It would have been exhausting. It would have been a lot of time that frankly I didn't have to invest into it. So I paid somebody to create mounting brackets and like who has experience with this specific issue with my specific vehicle to fix it. Now when I accidentally broke a stud out of one of my wheels, I was like, frick, that's a very simple thing to just like pop off and pop back in. That's very, very easy to do. So it's always a balancing act, but I would definitely agree. I mean, my particular neuroses is if it can be made, I want to know how to make it and I want to be able to make it. So that's just kind of how I operate. That's why my ultimate, whenever you see like characters that are like able to make things, Frankie from One Piece is my ultimate fantasy.
Absolutely.
That's who I would want to, if I was going to pick outside of like strategizing and like picking an effective thing, if I was just gonna like based off of my nature pick a superpower, it would be like creation. It would be making things because that's just like who I am. But yeah,
I agree, and I wish I was that person to be like, yeah, down and dirty. I'll get it done. I'll do it myself. I'll be like Thanos. I'll do it myself. I wish I could do that with everything.
Don't aspire to be like.
I just know that with my, I don't want to say attention span. I feel like I have a long attention span for things that I'm super passionate about, but I think that that's everybody.
I think that's called hyperfixation.
Yeah.
But I just know that I'll probably end up giving up at some point, especially if it's just something that I'm not used to at all. So I'm just like, yeah, just give money to somebody who knows what they're doing. But that, again, that's one goal that I want to, continue on as, I'm, getting a house,
Right.
starting a family. It's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff that we could pay people to do, but what are things that we can maybe, kind of cut corners on and do ourselves?
Gosh.
Yeah. As I look through the rest of these, a lot of these are becoming very fist shaky at sky. Man shakes fist at clouds type shit.
Give me an example so we can talk about it maybe.
Some of these aren't even worth talking about.
Oh, damn.
Here's
Bad,
one. The people in our generation are far, far too insensitive.
Oh,
People in the what?
Our generation,
okay.
Who's
Which-
our generation?
assuming millennial.
I would assume
Question
it's
X.
Gen Z down,
Yeah.
or sorry, millennial down.
You have a few Gen Xers in here who are talking about millennials and younger. We're all on our phones too much. You shouldn't put a phone in a kid's hand every time they're bored. You had someone who says you shouldn't have to label Tide Pods as inedible. And I'm like, babe, the reason we do this is because of the boomer generation. Is because people are fucking stupid and will do things like this. Like the reason that label's on there is the same reason don't touch the live wire is posted everywhere. It's the same reason there's a whole symbol for toxic chemicals. Is because people are dumb, and if companies don't tell people to not be dumb, they will continue being dumb.
Well, I think it's more like if companies don't tell people to not be dumb, they get sued.
They
when
get
people
sued.
Yeah.
That's more apt. Yeah.
People find loopholes.
Here's one straight just for you, Fluff. And I'm directly quoting this. Food delivery services are a complete ripoff, and if you use them regularly, you're terrible with money. Get off my lawn.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious because I started door dashing.
Oh, that's right. You DoorDash now. And
Yes.
this bitch orders DoorDash.
Wait, what? You're doing extra stuff on? You're door dashing to like make money for stuff? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pay
it's almost
for
like paying for a wedding and looking for a house.
we-
Very
We're
expensive.
doing everything we can. Look, we're doing everything we can to make sure we have the funds for this super awesome, amazing wedding.
And that's why we need y'all to get on this shit and start getting us some
God, that's
motherfucking
fucking
traction.
different. You work a full-time job and a full-time job that it's not paying you peanuts.
No, it's not.
But that's it.
Anything and everything helps.
It's-
And in today's society, shit is just too expensive.
Everything
Even
is
the
very
everyday
expensive.
stuff. But a wedding nowadays? Oh my gosh. If you haven't been saving since you were born,
Tens of grands.
good luck.
I'm not getting married.
Do you know the classification of middle class is $150,000 a year? That's
Oh
what
shit,
they-
we're an upper middle class household.
As a household,
Yeah, not
as a
As a whole
3-income
household.
household.
All
Yeah.
I'm making damn near six figures and I'm still considered like lower class. That's fucking wild, bro.
Welcome to 2024. I'm
20.
assuming that it's been
It's
like
been
this
this way
though.
for some
It's
years
been
now.
Like this.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, like when we were talking about good jobs growing up. What's a good job? The target was like $70K. Target
Oh
was
yeah.
like $70K. And I'm sitting here, I'm making not too far off from that. And I'm like, I barely have disposable income. We make the jokes about DoorDash, but my DoorDash expenses monthly probably account for 5-10% of my budget, right? It's a decent chunk. I
In
could
fairness, that
definitely,
is because we cook at home.
yeah. Well, that is because we cook at home. Well, we've been doing that for a year,
True.
right? For a year. When I don't talk to me about my past with DoorDash. Don't talk about the month where I looked at how much money I spent on DoorDash. I was like, that says $900.
Oh, Jesus. And that's not much different than another friend of ours. I'm not gonna say his name. We've said it before, but he like spent like $600 in a month on DoorDash, and he was like, I was ordering from places I could literally walk to in 5 minutes. I've used DoorDash. I'm glad I was always of the mindset that I never like cared to use DoorDash. I always just to me it's the experience of just getting up, getting in my car and going to get food if I'm gonna go get it. But
For me, well, the thing it is for me, right, is I will forget to eat.
Fair.
And then oftentimes I'm so like stuck doing stuff that like the easiest step for me to take care of myself in that moment when I'm like having a hard time just like doing anything is just to eat.
Yeah.
Right. It'll be I haven't eaten in a long time. Like I'm having a hard time like even like getting out of my fucking bed right now. So I'm gonna order some food.
Mm-hmm.
All I have to do is get on my phone. It's going to arrive. And that is motivating enough for me to get up and start doing stuff.
Yeah. I will say, as a dasher, that's what it typically seems to be. A lot of the people that I've handed food to or left food like on their doorstep and I've only done maybe like 6 or 7 deliveries. It's not that deep so far. But so far, it seems almost every person seemed either like frantic, like they're in the middle of something and it's like, oh, thank you, or it's like, leave it here. I'll get it when I get it. Leave it at the doorstep. It's whatever. And then you see like in your rear window of the car, they have like 5 things in their hands or like a headphone thong. Like they're busy people, or they're just, it seems like they don't have time to think about going out somewhere, making food and stuff. So I see the need. It's just wild that the prices are what they are. Because even I'm looking at them as a dasher, I'm like, dang, they're paying this. They're paying me this much for this.
When I order from DoorDash, it's usually $40 at a minimum. Right?
And which the crazy part is, like, and it's most of that isn't even going to the fucking dasher. Like, a very minimal amount of that is going to the dasher, unless you're like giving a tip on top of it or some shit. But
well, I include tip when I say that.
I mean, I think pretty much everybody.
I think you have to.
But usually, you don't have to give a tip, but the tip is automatically in there. You could put no tip on there if you wanted to.
If you want to be that asshole.
Nobody's that asshole. At least I've not met that asshole.
I've had a few people not tip me when I did ship.
Typically, a tip that I give is around $7, I think. Usually I just go with the middle option. So.
Because DoorDash will give you automatically, I think, $2 to $3 for every ship that you do.
Yeah, so there's like or
DoorDash rather. I don't know if I said.
So there's like the pay you get for doing the dash, but it's like with most gig-based services, like you live and breathe on tips most of the time.
Yeah.
I've had some people that went like above and beyond for me. I forget like what happened once with like there's some weird shit that happened with the order, or I know what it was I put in the order while I was at Sam's Club getting food, and it automatically switched my address to Sam's Club.
Really?
Instead of like it
leaving your home.
Yeah,
address.
well, because sometimes like if you're really far away from like a location, it'll automatically switch your address, which I won't lie, it's probably saved my ass numerous times.
It's convenient.
But in that case, it meant that they went to Sam's Club by the time I was at my house. And they still drove the delivery to me or to my house.
And those people,
so
we tip 150%.
I was gonna say, so I tipped them extra cash for that. I was like, thank you.
On behalf of the Dashers, we appreciate it. We love you.
Another one for you, Fluff. Buttons are superior to touchscreen.
Yay!
We like it.
I feel seen.
We do like it.
And then it continues down. QR codes for menus. Toddlers shouldn't have iPads, and all that fun shit.
Well, your kids are growing up in a technological era.
They're growing up in a technological era. It's up to you as a parent to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
Complaining that the kid has an iPad is like complaining that your dog doesn't know how to not bark when someone rings the doorbell. Someone trained him into doing this. That's the person you should complain about. Whew. All right. Want to take a quick break before we get into some news and some manhwa?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Break. We're back. Mr. Kent, what do you got for us, man?
Yeah, so I got 2 topics. One of them I'll jump into first because I'm not as it's still cool, but I'm not as passionate about that as I am this other thing. And that is the game of the year for, I think it was last year, Baldur's Gate
2023. Yeah.
Yep, Baldur's Gate 3. And I have not played any of the previous. I didn't know what Baldur's Gate was.
I mean, Baldur's Gate is an ancient game.
Yeah, I had
is an old
no
game.
idea what it was at all. And then I hear it won Game of the Year over like Spider-Man 2, over anything
Tears of
Nintendo
the
put
Kingdom,
out.
yeah.
A lot of
I'm
people
like-
didn't like Spider-Man 2 actually, but that's different. That's separate.
Yeah, I mean, even then, it's like I've never really heard much about Baldur's Gate. I didn't know what it was, so I was like, okay, how did that win over some of these other IPs that like everybody knows and is expecting more or less?
By realizing that Baldur's Gate is a well-known IP.
I was gonna say you seem absolutely mystified by Baldur's Gate. Like it came out.
And I will say
Yeah.
my knowledge of Baldur's Gate is almost nil as well. Like, but I knew it was a big IP. Just why I had never played.
People have been waiting for Baldur's Gate 3. Like people have been waiting for the next. What is it? What's the one with the boy with the crowbar from Valve?
Half-Life.
The next Half-Life game. People have been waiting for the next Baldur's Gate game, like they've been waiting for the next Half-Life game because it was formative for a lot of people. I only really know about it from game design podcasts, but it's been anticipated for a long time, and the circles that I run in have been very excited about.
I was
the
about
game.
to say it's also very shocking to me you haven't heard more about it as it is straight up D&D.
I was gonna say the Baldur's Gate 3 specifically, I have heard a lot about.
Is it different than the other Baldur's Gates, or is it pretty much, are they all somewhat similar in gameplay mechanic style?
I can't really comment on that because the other Baldur's Gate, I want to say they were really our parents' generation was playing them, so they're a little bit
okay,
a little
I can
bit
see the
before.
hype then I can see that.
Yeah.
So like
And it's cool because Baldur's Gate, like I didn't know this until Baldur's Gate 3 came out. I had no idea Baldur's Gate was it even. I always heard it was D&D like. I did not know it was actually a D&D thing. Like Baldur's Gate is a straight up just a campaign you can play in D&D.
Right. And that was a pleasant surprise to me because I was like, okay, I like D&D. So therefore, this should be likable to me. Like I'm surprised I'm just hearing about this now.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm like, I maybe I can't be surprised because I'm more into like Nintendo, I'm starting to get more into, some of these Insomniac games and whatnot. So it's like, okay, maybe I just haven't been in the right communities to be able to appreciate some of these IPs.
Very possible, yeah.
well, you've been more of a AAA boy generally.
Yeah.
If you count Nintendo as AAA.
There is that whole argument.
That's
But-
neither here nor there.
Yeah, but I started playing it with my fiance because we heard that it was co-op. So we're like, okay, that's cool. How's it co-op? Side or split screen co-op from the moment you put the game in. So
fucking Sega can't figure that shit out.
right. Our frustration with Nintendo. Well, I guess
Nintendo, I'm fine with it because it works out fine.
Well, I kind of grouped Wonder
With okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Wonder in there a little bit, but Sega did a way worse job. We want to make sure that's stapled
Split
in
screen is just
with
too
Sonic
crazy.
Superstars. But we heard it was co-op, so we're like, okay, let's get in on that because in Game of the Year it has co-op from the moment you start the game. Let's try it out. And we've been having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been seeing y'all play a little bit of it.
Yeah, it is just like D&D. I'm very surprised by how much it resembles actual D&D play. It's like for everything that you're doing, you're talking to NPCs. There's a narrator as like a DM in the background for some of your cutscenes. When you're trying to look for something or your character just like walks a little distance inside of a room, there's automatically a perception check or an insight check that happens randomly sometimes that you could fail or succeed on. And depending on that, stuff changes in the environment or a cutscene happens, or it straight up asks you, hey, do an intimidation roll for us. And it pulls up all of your stats automatically. You don't have to worry about going back and looking at character sheets and everything. But it's a video game. I don't know. Again, people who know what Baldur's Gate is are probably like, yeah, that's Baldur's Gate.
That's Baldur's Gate, right? Like
This is new to me. This is a new experience. I am really enjoying it so far. It's really cool. Not as fast paced as like say Spider-Man or like Sonic Superstars or Mario Wonder, maybe that's just, again, a me thing, because I do enjoy the fast pacedness of those type of games, but I do enjoy this sit back, strategize, really plan out your next moves, or else you're gonna have a bad time, you know.
Can I pull you aside away from Baldur's Gate for a second?
Yeah,
because you mentioned Spider-Man a couple times, and I've heard a take on Spider-Man that I want your opinion on, as somebody who's actually played the game. I've heard that people do not like Spider-Man 2 because they say it was basically the same game as Spider-Man 1. How did you feel about that? Because you played through the whole game, right? How do you feel about that criticism?
I can definitely see where they're coming from. It plays very similar as far as like Spider-Man's movements, mechanics, the things, the abilities you get. It is very, very similar. I will not, put that past anybody. Right. I get that. And I get why people wouldn't like the game because of that. It's not a whole reimagining of the entire mechanic system. They're building upon it and changing a few things, but not too much changes. What the biggest change really is of course the story, which again, I don't know what you've heard. I haven't looked up a whole bunch of reviews, but I do think, again, this could be personal, this is an opinion, but I do think that they do a little better job with the story in the second one. And again, I'm a pretty big story person. I'm starting to become more of a bigger story person as I play more of these games. So maybe, again, that's just me giving it a little more credit in that area, which is maybe why I'm giving it a lot more praise than some other people. But I definitely understand why people are like, nah, it's like the same game. I get it. It's close. The Venom stuff is cool. You couldn't do that in the first one. Right. I love that stuff, but maybe that just wasn't enough for some people.
Personally, I think that take is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. I think it is absolute bullshit, and it's dumb as fuck. It's dumb as rocks. Like, it's like picking up a Call of Duty game and be like, it was a first-person shooter. I didn't like it. It was stupid.
Right.
It'd be like, oh, I'm a Spider-Man game and I'm playing a Spider-Man and swinging around a Spider-Man. What the fuck did you expect to get?
I'm going to slightly amend what you just said here. It's not picking up Call of Duty and being shocked it was a first-person shooter. It's picking up Call of Duty Modern Warfare and being shocked that it plays just like Call of Duty.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm like
any other Call of Duty game is like, yeah, that's kind of the fucking point of what you're playing. I don't follow, honestly, even more so in like later years. I don't follow any discourse when it comes to video games. Like, there's very few video games where I come across the opinions, like people's opinions. Like, Pokemon is pretty much about it, and that's just because of how much I actively play it. But if you're complaining that Spider-Man is too much like the first game, I think you misunderstand what a game based off a comic book is. Like, like almost every Spider-Man comic book takes place in the same location. You're not changing locations. You're just changing the villain of the week. And I don't know what you can expect out of that. And for a sec, I was sitting here thinking like, maybe it's like, I can't, because my first thought was like when people were almost going to complain about Tears of the Kingdom being too much like Breath of the Wild. And then it turns out you get basically two new maps when you play. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of understand that. But it's like, with Spider-Man, like my knee-jerk reaction was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. But then, like, just as y'all kept talking, I was like, what else could you want, though?
Yeah.
Like, what more do you want if you're playing a Spider-Man game?
Spider-Man 1 was majorly flawed, and there like needed systematic changes in order to, from what I understand from the feedback, people thought that Spider-Man 1 knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
In a way that people really didn't see coming. And if people are shocked that the second game follows suit and sticks to its strengths,
more of that with different story elements. I'm sorry, this comic book game is structured like comic books. I don't know. I kind of want to see what those arguments are, because I can't imagine people just going, it's too similar, because like it just leaves me to go like, what did you expect?
There may be more intelligently articulated arguments out there on the internet. Specifically, I'm responding to somebody that I work with who, when we talked about Spider-Man 2, they're like, it was just too similar to the first game. And I'm like,
that doesn't What did you want it to be?
I was literally to his face. I was like, I don't understand what else you would have expected from it.
I will say, if they were like, it would be cool to see Spider-Man like go off and do some shit in like another city or like in different locations. Sure, I guess I get that, but like the vast majority of Spider-Man comic books take place in the 5 boroughs. Like, what else do you want?
Well, it's also one of those things where the more I thought about it, the dumber it seemed to me. So I wanted to, I felt the need to express that, and I wanted to see how you felt about it. So.
Yeah, no, and internally, I was like, I mean, I had the same initial, I guess, internal reaction, but I'm always nowadays trying to be like, okay, why would they think that? And it's like, okay, I guess I could see it from that perspective, but for me, it wasn't that. So, but yeah, no, it is a little different, and I love the adjustments they made to that. So for me, Spider-Man 2 is a W. Baldur's Gate, new series, new game. I like it a lot. Baldur's Gate 3, you can take the dub. You can take it.
I want to talk to you about the split screen works real quick, because it seems to me like you and your fiance both have total independent control, but you have total independent control together.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty much. And that's honestly, when we were looking at like some of the reviews before we bought the game, we were looking at some people complaining because it's like, yeah, like 1 minute I could be talking to somebody else about this one storyline that, because again, it's pretty much just like D&D where there's like, okay, you could go over here and you'll trigger this quest. You could go over here and trigger that quest. You could go over here and trigger that, or you could trigger all of them at once and decide which ones you want to go on.
Go down and figure out.
And you can kind of do that all independently if you want. So I could be talking to this NPC about this one quest, and then, you know, my fiance is like on the whole other side of the map talking to another person about another quest.
I was gonna ask, like, can y'all, like, do they force y'all to be in the same, or can y'all literally just be anywhere you want to?
For our entire experience right now, we could be honestly wherever else we want to be. We don't have to be in the same thing together.
What happens if, well, I have a couple questions, but what happens if you're like talking to somebody off on the other side of the map and somebody else inadvertently triggers a combat scenario?
You're just in that combat scenario alone.
We've seen that too, where my fiance would be, so this happened literally yesterday. We go into this well area. We drop down into a well, and it has sewers and stuff like that.
Should I spoiler alert this?
No, this is like at the beginning.
Okay.
This is like
okay.
I say beginning, but it's like this isn't any kind of spoiler. So this is like an open world map type of thing. So you kind of do whatever you want, go wherever you want to go, kind of. And I don't know the names of anything. So Baldur's Gate 3 people, please, you know, cut me some slack here,
or tell them what it is,
or tell me what it is in the comments. Sure. We'll read those.
Scream at us.
We'll read those comments about Baldur's Gate. And we were down in that area, and my fiance went ahead, and I'm a looter, so I will like search everything and pick up everything. It got so bad that I was encumbered. So I had to like offload a whole bunch of stuff.
Which is hilarious because in our D&D campaign, y'all did not search for shit.
You really did it. I had to do that every time.
He had to like keep guiding you guys of like, hey, remember, fucking search the area after you kill the boss.
Yeah, no, in a video game, I'm entirely different. After a kill, I'm looting that body. I don't care. It became a problem because at one point there was this kind of like event where two NPCs were crying, and there was a dead body on the ground.
Yeah.
My fiance went to talk to the people. I immediately went to loot the body. And that was a problem because soldiers came up. They're like, well, we got to arrest you now for trying to, you know, desecrate this body.
Hey, run me your pockets, nigga. Like,
and I was like, oh, crap. And I couldn't get out of it. So it was either go to jail or fight. And I was like, well, I'm not going to jail. So I triggered a fight scene with these NPCs who were grieving over the loss of their mother, I think.
you looted their dead mother?
I saw a dead body. I was going to loot it. I was like, oh, great.
That's crazy. There were consequences for your actions. There were reasonable consequences for your stupid video game actions. That's so
I couldn't
great.
be mad at them because I was like, oh, fuck. Okay. My character wouldn't want to go to jail, but he would definitely want that loot, and he is definitely going to, have smoke with people. So
Jesus Christ.
and my
Dargle.
fiance hated me for it. Thankfully,
I would too.
thankfully, we had an auto save a little bit before then, so we were able to track back because we won that fight. But my fiance wasn't going to let me get away.
They were
with it.
like, no.
Yeah. So,
Jesus, bro.
but no, in that sewer, she ran ahead and started and got into a combat fight.
Mhm.
And I didn't even know about it until like maybe 45 seconds after it started. And she's like, you mind coming over here and helping? I'm like, what? And I'm like looting like all this whole other room in the other side of the sewers. And she's like, yeah, I'm in a fight. I'm like, oh, and I could have just looked to the left and seen, oh yeah, you're fighting right now. But I was in my own little world of looting. So.
Jesus, bro.
Well, that's really cool because you can like divide and conquer that way. That's awesome. How do NPC relationships work with the tag team? Do you guys have like one party and you like pick different people from it, or like how does that break down?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. It's pretty much towards the very beginning of the story. You just pick up most of the party. I think there's one more party member that we have yet to find. We haven't played a ton yet. We're maybe like, I don't know. I want to say we played for maybe 10 hours, but even then, it's not like we're always running the storyline. We're constantly.
You guys only have 2 party members right now.
We have 4
You
actually.
have 4. Okay.
We're only running with 2. You can only have 4 people total in your party, and since me and her are make up 2 of them, we can have only 2 other people with us. But you can control whichever ones you want. So if my fiance wants to be able to control, 2 of the NPCs of the 4 of our group, and I just control myself, she can do that.
Oh, nice.
If I want to be able to control one and she wants to be able to control one, we can do that. So it's really nice in that sense. And again, it acts kind of like, every single, person you talk to, other NPC, not in your party that you talk to, based on who you have under you, basically who you're controlling, they're with you. So if I go and talk to Mary Sue from the bread shop or whatever and say something mean to her, whichever party member, whatever their personality is, it's like, oh, you gained, like, oh, so-and-so liked that. Like my party member liked that. My party member didn't like that. Like pretty much every single thing you do has some kind of consequence or reaction.
That's pretty cool.
The sound of this system is probably why it took so long for Baldur's Gate 3 to come out, because that is a technological marvel to make all these systems work properly.
Yeah, the longer we were playing, the more I was like, oh, wow, they let you do this. Or, oh, wow, I get punished for this.
How does it work with the romance?
Oh, well, we looked that up, actually, because we were also very curious. There are certain, prompts, because, any time you talk to an NPC or your party members, there are prompts and different things you can say with, depending on what it is, you'll have to roll for like, trying to deceive, enemies and whatnot. Or if you're trying to get insight on maybe what your party member's trying to do or say to you. So it's essentially works like that. You go down certain dialogue trees, you go down the correct ones enough, and you'll trigger that, relationship thing to happen. And it's not like you're in a relationship, but it's like, yeah, you trigger the sex scene.
Fair.
By going down this line of dialogue. So at least that's our experience. It could be different for certain party members or other people that you may meet in the game. I don't know.
The number of jokes I've seen about Baldur's Gate that are like, great dating game. Could do with a little less violence, though.
Honestly, yeah.
Fair.
Yes, because almost every single person you talk to, you're like, are they hitting on me? Like, is this line of dialogue just there to see what if I will choose the I want to fuck you option? Yeah. So it's a good time. We're enjoying it so far.
Glad, because I've actually really been wanting to play Baldur's Gate 3.
I
don't know if I
been
have
wanting
it
to
yet. I
play
might
it,
have it.
but the time commitment
Is a big commitment.
I have not finished Breath of the Wild
Or Tears of the Kingdom.
I've not finished Tears of the Kingdom. For some
I know you
reason.
haven't, and I want to tell you things and send you memes and make jokes, but I can't because they would technically be spoilers.
What's a spoiler?
Fair enough.
Speaking of spoilers and some stuff that we're all consuming right now.
Oh yeah. Can we get into this now?
Yes. So I'm going to be very passionate. I'm very passionate about this, and I don't think I've been this passionate about something in a long time.
So before he gets into that, then I'm just going to interject here and say, should I call this spoiler cast, spoiler territory?
You can. I'm going to try to be as spoil free as possible, because there's still stuff that we don't know yet with this series.
Fair.
And again, I'm not going to talk about specific things that really happen in this next part, but just something that dropped on. Oof. So I've been holding this in for 2 days, just so you know.
Hold it in for like three more seconds. I'm just going to say this now. I don't know how I'm going to play this when I get into the editing phase. I might put up a timestamp somewhere down at the bottom here. At this point, he's going to try his best, but proceed at your own peril.
For
One Piece. We're
There we
talking
go.
about One Piece. Okay. So if you don't want to hear spoilers or you're worried or something, sure, you can skip. I'm going to try to be as spoiler-free as possible, but here's your warning. I've been holding this in for 2 days. What dropped on Sunday or Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever, the newest episode of the newest saga, the newest episode of the newest arc of the last saga of One Piece that dropped 3 days ago, is unequivocally and objectively gas. Gas. I am not exaggerating,
Like,
guys.
is that good?
It is insane what they're doing to the animation style. One Piece have had to overgone some art style changes and stuff, right? But the shit we're going to see this year, and this is One Piece's 25th anniversary year, is nuts. It's
Shit.
going to be crazy.
shit, One Piece is 1 year old younger than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I was blown away by what I witnessed that night. And I had to be quiet. I couldn't react too loud because my fiance was sleeping right next to me. But I wanted to scream and be like, what the fuck is happening? So wait, you gotta pause it because you gotta pause it. Wait. First of all, we need audio because the music is nuts. They brought back the guy who did the first opening of One Piece. He also did the first Wano opening. I don't know if you guys remember what that one is, but it's over the top. Where Luffy's like chained up or whatever, and he's like breaking. Yep.
Yeah,
he
it
did
was
that.
cool. I caught in by like halfway through Wano.
Yeah,
That's pretty fucking great.
he did like the middle, like episode, like around 500 or so. There was another one that's very close to We Are. He did that one. They brought him back again to do this masterpiece, and oh my gosh, I've been bumping this for 2 days straight. My Spotify Wrapped is going to be nothing but this song for this year. I promise you.
Fair.
I don't know. This could be just me fanboying too much, but I honestly think what we're going to see this year from One Piece is going to be some of the best animated sequences that we're going to see in animation history for a minute.
Okay, we're gonna
it's
take
gonna
a
be
moment.
nuts.
We're gonna take a moment. here
So
to
much
watch.
happens in this the opening. Nuts. So much happens in here. The opening does have a shit ton of spoilers.
I'm gonna play this right quick.
Okay, play it.
Okay,
Because I love watching this. It's so good.
we'll edit this out.
Is audio on?
Audio is currently on.
Okay.
We'll edit. I'm gonna edit out all this extra stuff because of obviously copyright and all that fun shit.
Yeah.
Japanese power metal is not something I knew I needed.
Yeah.
That
So-
was nuts.
I do not read the manga. I really just watch recaps of the manga. And I'm caught up. And there is just so much stuff they showed in that. And this isn't out of character for a lot of anime and One Piece, especially to show some spoilers in the opening. But there is way too many spoilers in this opening. It is ridiculous.
For shit that's already happened or shit that's gonna happen.
Shit that's going to happen in this arc.
Mm-hmm.
Like shit that's already happened in the manga. But like there's stuff in here that we probably haven't seen yet.
I personally argue, and I do say this as someone who doesn't give a shit about spoilers. If there's no context to what any of it points to, I don't think that should be considered a spoiler. But
yeah, I mean, and that's where I'm like, okay, as a person who doesn't really consider themselves a manga reader, but is somewhat caught up with the manga, at least some of the information, I'm like, this is insane that they're showing this much to, especially people who just watch the anime. They're probably like, what is happening right now? There's so many.
I was gonna say, because I think that I don't know if you're criticizing for them or not.
No. I love everything about what we just saw.
All right, because what I was gonna say is I think it's very well done, and I think that as people watch it, they'll be like, "Oh, that's what it is. Oh, that makes sense."
Yeah, like,
and if you are reading the manga, you're like, "Fuck, they're gonna fucking do that shit." I'm so fucking excited to see that in this arc. Oh my god!
Exactly. And I've been looking up a whole bunch of other people reacting to that opening specifically, and that's exactly what we're seeing. People who are caught up with the manga are like, "Holy shit! They're showing this. They're showing this in the. Is that big news, Morgan? They're showing Emu. They're like, holy shit! There's so much happening in this opening. It goes super fast. Like you have to slow it down to see everything. And almost every single frame of that opening is a masterpiece. It is nuts. What
really surprised me is how much of that was 3D and how good it looked.
Right. I've been waiting to fanboy about it vocally for 2 days. Because I don't have anybody like around me who's this caught up, or at least who knows everything that happens in the manga. So I'm like, okay, I messaged Keon over Discord. I'm like, bro, please tell me you saw that episode last night. Oh my gosh, I am losing my shit. The animation is beautiful. They spoiled a shit ton, but I'm fine with it because a lot of people probably don't know what's going on anyway.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's spoilers because without context, I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Like,
and
as someone who hasn't seen it, I couldn't tell you anything that's going on right now.
Yeah, maybe
Zoro
spoilers isn't the right term
for
for it, but it's just insane how much they're showing. Because I don't think in any other arc they've showed this much in the opening. It's wild. But yeah, I was mainly wanted to fanboy about this, saying how excited I am for this. They're putting a bunch of resources into this next saga. You can tell. Toei knows that this is like one of their golden, I don't even know what to call it. They're one of their big money makers right now, and they're doing everything they can to make sure that we are
big mama money makers.
Big mama money.
Yes, absolutely. Some people have criticized the art style in the past before this episode dropped. People are like, it looks a little weird after seeing like some like snapshots and whatnot of the next episode. But like,
is this indicative of the art style?
So I did send a couple pictures, and you can see what the actual art style of the actual episode is. It is very close.
Okay.
It's not exact. It's still reminiscent of like, what we've seen before, but you could definitely tell there's some shading.
So they've taken some that's what one of the things I actually really liked about the Wano arc is they did a significant shift in how they were portraying it. And I say significant, it was actually pretty subtle. They changed the line art, they changed the color grading a little bit. But it really put you in the environment and in the arc in a way that I really, really liked.
Yeah, and I didn't know that they've been doing this. It was just something that I guess my brain was just like, oh yeah, okay, new saga, new arc, stuff changes a little bit, I guess. Maybe different people are working on it now, whatever, that's fine. But after reading more about, the style changes and everything that happens in One Piece, it's somewhat intentional. Almost every single saga change, they make some kind of actual, like, very purposeful art shift, essentially. More or less, I say shift. It's more like a little bit of different art direction, a little tweak.
Well, that makes sense with like how they're portraying stuff. It's been subtle enough that I haven't noticed it before though.
Right. I didn't notice it until this, but then after looking into it, apparently it's been going on. It's
I was
just
gonna say
way
also
more.
with a series as long running as One Piece, I have to imagine there's like new art directors and creative directors
Right.
taking over when different studios taking over stuff that like you can try to get as close to it. Like they might start on model from like whatever the previous art model was, and then like obviously their own influence, their own creativity is going to start to shine through.
Well, it very clearly changes. Like if you look at Arc 1 Nami versus post time skip
Oh yeah,
Nami,
no, that's
they are entirely different people.
They are.
Yeah. It's actually kind of nuts because I haven't grown up with watching One Piece. I kind of binged all of it in like, a year to get caught up to where I am today, more or less. But I can imagine even throughout that year, the subtle changes were subtle enough over time to where, I was looking at current Nami and I look back at like Arc 1 Nami. I'm like, whoa,
That's a whole different person.
How did that happen? Like, it's
The
weird.
baby game
I was just
Baldur.
gonna say, like, if there's small intentional changes, I wonder if that's a little bit like how long have they been working on this? Do you think?
Yeah, it is indicative of like the old school anime stuff, especially those first like 200 or so episodes, indicative of that older anime style. And of course, quality was different back then, resolution was different, and everything just
4:3 aspect ratio.
Right. So it's like, there is definitely that. They were limited back then for sure. But it's just weird looking back on it now. It's like, damn. I didn't really notice it that much until this. And I'm like, okay, does this happen often? And yes, it happens when either something in the story dramatically changes or it's a whole new saga. And in this case, this style makes sense for everything that's going to be animated coming up. There are going to be fight scenes that are nuts. Gear 5 Luffy is cracked. Like, you could probably tell from the intro, there's some wacky ass shit that's going to go down in this arc. So this style makes a lot of sense.
Well,
And
you
Oh,
it's-
told me Gear 5 Luffy was happening in Wano.
oh, it is.
No, Gear 5 Luffy is happening in Wano. It's going to be, that transformation has to be the thing going forward until Gear 6 comes about.
Yeah. Because Luffy unlocks the transformation and then he can use it.
Okay, so you're saying the use of it's going to be...
It's going to be crazy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's broken. It's honestly, it's broken. You'll get there, but it's broken. Just know that. And they needed to change the style to accommodate for how broken it is. Because they can animate wacky ass shit in this style way easier than they could with some of the other styles that they've done with One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
So
Because it's very... I mean, like, it wasn't like original One Piece, or at least what I've seen has been like super like shading heavy, but this definitely a lot more, almost not even cell shaded. It's just very flat shaded.
yeah.
Yes.
Which a lot of people were like, it doesn't look as detailed. Why are they doing this? It's
The shade
I think this plays very well for the...
I think it's gorgeous.
It's
personally.
it's invoking something. I'm trying to. It looks like something, and I can't think.
There's actually a very particular artist, a sci-fi artist, I think, whose style is being referenced here. But that style has actually become very pervasive over the last couple years. I can't remember the name of the sci-fi artist, though. They're really well known for having really detailed drawings with very consistent line art and very flat pastel colors.
I
And
could probably
that-
recognize the art. If you could throw out any name, and I would say, sure, that's the name. What
let
about Stacey?
me do a Google real quick.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's like the style or the color palette or something reminds me of Fooly Cooly.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I see that.
It looks very Fooly Cooly.
And that was a wackily animated show too.
I gotta watch through that again. We should sit down and watch that. It's literally only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
Didn't Fooly Cooly 2 happen?
They're on like 4, but all of the like everything past 1 sucks.
Oh,
Well,
damn.
that is how it goes.
Yeah. But it's
But yeah,
I don't
no,
know.
I'm like, so Fluff's been catching up on it. Obviously, you're like the watcher. Fluff's catching up on it, and I've essentially been like kind of popping in here and there as Fluff's watching episodes and getting like summarized up to the whatever
It's
point
been
they're in.
osmosis.
It's pretty much I'm learning about it through osmosis. I think that's just what it's going to be until we see what this Netflix deal does.
The reason I started watching again is because I saw some images of Gear 5 Luffy on Facebook, and I was like, I gotta see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, Gear 5 Luffy is fucking crazy looking.
Yeah, he's nuts.
And he has a really cool, like, what he's based on is actually kind of a cool thing that I really want to learn more about.
Yeah.
So Gear 5 Luffy is based on, I believe it's called the Laughing Man, which is a Caribbean legend or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore behind One Piece, and every decision that's made in the story or character designs, etc. Oda, he has to be 88. I'm going to sound terrible because I don't know the correct term for any of this stuff, but ADD, ADHD, whatever it is, where you're hyper focused on just the details and like culture and integrating that into whatever you're making. I don't know what he's on when he's making these decisions, but it almost seems like every single thing, every decision there's a very specific reason. He doesn't do something like just off cap with no reason. There's always some kind of cultural representation of something, always some kind of cultural meaning behind whatever he does, some kind of background for whatever he does. Like every character is based off of something else. Everything that they wear is based off of something else. The things that they believe is based off of this god, based off of this thing of our world, this history, this culture, these people. Like it's insane. I've been reading and watching a lot of One Piece content over the past 3 or 4 years. It's nuts. Ichiro Oda is insane. The story is wild. I don't know how he does it, but it's like the stars align for One Piece. Honestly, this is one of the greatest stories and pieces of series content that has ever existed. So that's me. I've been wanting to
stood up and is looking at the TV screen.
Oh yeah, you're looking at Sabo there?
Yeah, I was just looking at the way they chose to. You're not gonna be able to hear the here.
We can probably pick it up with the phone if we need to. We're just picking up with the phone audio.
Are you trying to see?
So, well, I'm just what I'm looking at.
We have the opening pulled up on the TV screen in front of our couches here.
I'll throw up the screenshot. I think that'll be enough.
I just wanted to do a cursory analysis of how they've chosen to illustrate this here because I think it's really fucking cool. So you have a really consistent line art that's highlighting his silhouette that I think is really cool. It's kind of effective. I think it's kind of neat. But everything else is extremely flat, right? To the point where I bet with where you're sitting right now, you can't actually see the additional detail they put in the hair, right?
No.
Yeah.
I can see like one line separating a lock at around in line with the ear.
Like right there? Yeah. So there's like a couple additional lines in there, but they're extremely subtle, right? But you'll notice in certain areas like there's no stroke there, right? They've chosen to forego strokes in certain areas. There's no stroke around like a lot of this blood. And
I would guess this is 3D, but
yeah, I think this is actually probably except for the way that they were doing the motion there with the thing. They had a lot of secondary motion and a lot. They might be
having twos, maybe.
They might because of the way they cut this together. They may have done a 3D animation of a figure. Right, and then drawn over top of that, but I don't think that this is a rendering specifically.
Because they could have done like a 3D paint over to get the consistency between the.
Regardless, I don't know if they like 3D rosecapes it or whatever, but I think that this is gorgeous.
It is.
I think it's very well thought out, very well done.
It is.
What I've seen so far, and I can't wait to see more.
I think it's one of those things where I feel like I should talk to my mic. I feel like it's one of those things where people could be complaining about the art style in a vacuum, but not looking at the thing as an overall picture. This art style suits the ever-loving fuck out of One Piece.
Yes.
Like this art style looks fantastic on One Piece.
Yes. For their final saga, this is again, I hate to sound like that One Piece fan, because I know how we are seen in the community as just notoriously obnoxious about how good One Piece is. but it's that good. I gotta be honest. I'm not usually like this with anything ever.
Look, there's a reason the properties lasted for 25 years.
Yes. And the fact that they're choosing this direction is beautiful and very fitting. And I love it. And I am so excited to see what else they have in store. I am so excited.
That is fair.
So excited.
I am excited for you.
Please catch up. I want you to catch up so bad. I need somebody else in this house to sit with me every week and watch the newest episode and fanboy with me. I need that so bad. I'm going to lose my mind. Every episode drop, I'm going to have nobody to talk to about it, and it's going to suck.
That's me with solo leveling right now.
Really?
Solo leveling. So you guys are going to fucking know anything about this. But my people who like my manhwa content, you know solo leveling. Solo leveling anime just released. We've been waiting for like 5 years. I remember like hearing about it. And gosh, it would have been 2018, I think.
Okay.
I could be very wrong about that.
It's crazy how long ago that is now.
But the
6 years.
yeah,
We're going
but
on 6.
I'm pretty sure it was pre-pandemic because it was when my friend when Logan was still here. I'm not sure. The first name I think is fine, but we were at that point we were actually pretty close. We were hanging out all the time because we worked at the same place. I would often drive him home, and then we would like watch shit or talk about stuff we were reading.
Nice.
He's the person who's Crunchyroll we're using.
Oh, really?
Yes.
He's the one who's what?
We're using his Crunchyroll account.
Oh,
On the TV
interesting.
upstairs.
hell yeah.
So
Thank you for that, bud.
yeah.
Shout out.
He could change that password at any day. We'd be cut off, and I would absolutely understand because I haven't talked to him in quite a while. But
Does he know you're still using it?
I assume so because he's not watching One Piece, and he watches stuff pretty regularly. Because you could see like in the feed, like other things pop up all the time.
Interesting.
But like, shit.
But like, oh, I'm still on that. But yeah,
There's a lot of people who are like they don't have that friend decay, and I appreciate people like that. Like just because we haven't talked doesn't mean we're any less of friends. Like if as long as we haven't had a fallout, but
it's true. It's true. Yeah. The so solo leveling is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, manhwa webcomic out there right now, at least in the US. I can't really comment on other countries, but if we were go to kenmi.co's most popular stuff, solo leveling right there at the top.
Okay.
It episode 1 dropped last weekend. I'm so fucking excited.
Nice. Like in anime form?
In anime form.
Ooh. On Crunchyroll?
On Crunchyroll.
Ooh.
On Crunchyroll.
That's good. That's good news for me because I will easily flip to a new series on Crunchyroll for sure and just watch it to watch it. I'm in that phase right now where I'm like, I want to just, does this look interesting? Let's play it. First 2 episodes, it's all right. Next series, right?
Say, you just give us a night. I'll come up and watch it.
Excellent, because the 13th is when the next episode comes out.
Nice.
So
sweet.
We'll see, because right now it's still the first episode. They just started to get up to shenanigans. So I thought they did a really good job. I'm very excited about it. Everybody should watch it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I am down to do that.
Same.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, maybe we'll sit down. We'll catch up on the first. You said the second episode's coming out the 13th, or
yes.
Okay. So
it's going to be 1 episode every week. I think I just looked at the release schedule while I was at the gym. But,
maybe we'll do a blind watchers summary of it, because I know nothing about anything about solo leveling. So I'll be completely brand new to it.
Yeah, same.
So you should read the whole thing.
No, I want to read. I want to watch it first.
See, I'm that person who if I to what happened with One Piece, if I enjoy what I'm seeing via the anime so much, I'm going to want to know what happens in the manga later, and potentially quote unquote spoil my anime loving self with the manga. So I mean, hey,
I don't know about you, but if it's a good enough property, like the time I reincarnated as a slime, I've read the light novels. I'm reading the manga. Every time the anime drops on, I am there. I love that shit so much because there's some problems with it, but it is enjoyable enough for me that I am always there.
I guess I'll say it this way. If I hadn't had other things in my life that take up my free time, like if I didn't have Pokemon Shiny Honey and Disc Golf.
Oh, okay.
Like if I didn't have Shiny Honey and Disc Golf and I had that extra time to put into something else like that, I absolutely would read it. But as of right now,
For a minute, I thought you were dissing us because of the nerdy shit that we're talking about. And then you continue to talk about the nerdy shit.
No, it's just, I have,
like, okay,
I'm saying because of my nerdy shit, it's hard to fit in time for the other types of nerdy shit.
You're weak. Your blood is weak. You got to be disc golfing, reading manhwa, playing Pokemon, all at the same time.
If you're not, we are disowning you as a friend.
Look, if it's
Disown me, I don't give a shit.
if neoliberalism is taught anything, it's all about efficiency, baby. How do you use that time?
Oh my.
Katsu.
Get an auto reader.
The amount? Okay.
Honestly, the amount of comics I could probably get through in a round of disc golf if I had an auto reader would not be that bad.
I have regularly contemplated making an app on the phone that would let me use my eyes to scroll so that I could read while I was in the shower.
That could work, actually. I was going to say, how would that work? I'm like, no.
It could.
No, there's
do something.
nothing
You could
to do with
absolutely do something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's neither here nor there.
that. That also seems like a very complicated endeavor that would take years.
It would
figure it out.
it would probably take me a couple months to kick out a rough prototype that would be janky as hell, and then I would stop desiring to use it almost immediately.
That's fair.
Get a wireless mouse. Put it in a bag.
You're describing what Rueben did when he was in high school.
Oh yeah.
Because like that was how I listened to music, because I would just have like a laptop. Like I had like this old busted ass laptop that I would sit on the counter in the bathroom, and then while I'm in the shower, I would have I'd have a wireless mouse. I would tape over the I would this is fucking crazy, but I would take the mouse. I would specifically place I would have like whatever playlist I had going. This was way before Spotify, right? And I didn't have Apple Music, obviously, so I had just like my music in Windows. I would set it to shuffle. I would set my mouse over the skip forward button, and then I would lift it up, take a piece of black tape, put it over the light sensor on the mouse.
Wild with this.
And then I will put that in a Ziploc bag, and I could just like set that in the shower. And so when a song came on that I didn't want to listen to because I just have it on shuffle, I would click next to go to the next song. And so
that's how I did it. Very well thought out.
That's the cracked out shit that I would do.
You MacGyvered that.
I MacGyvered the ever loving fuck out of that.
I would have given up. I would have been like, I'll listen to it later.
It would have been just as easy to just like place a towel over the touchpad and just lean out over the fucking shower thing and just press the button, but Rueben had to figure out a different way.
Yeah, even then though, I still wouldn't want to do that lean because then you're getting water everywhere. It's too inconvenient. I'm like, it's all or nothing at that point. Either I'm going to MacGyver this to hell, or I'm just going to listen to it as I drive.
I'm going to listen to whatever the fuck. No,
yeah.
Rueben was the type that had to.
The amount of times I've like stuck my finger out right down the towel and then tapped my phone to skip and then got back to watch.
It just went right back in. Oh man, having a Bluetooth speaker in the shower is very nice right now. I wish it had some more like smarter features to it, but what else?
I wish my brain had those too.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Smarter features. Fair enough.
Okay. Anything more about One Piece before we?
I'm looking at this.
It's the name of the treasure
in the grand line.
Oh, we showed. Oh man, if y'all don't know the 4Kids One Piece rap, I'm sure many of you do, but if you don't, please go treat yourself and go listen to that. It is my favorite thing.
It is.
And we got to show Fluff this a few days ago. He got to learn about the One Piece 4Kids rap.
I'm sure I saw it when I was watching the early dubs, but I do be skipping those intros all the time.
Sanji's cooking. Chopper doctoring.
The early dubs, were you talking about on Crunchyroll?
I think I bootlegged One Piece when I first started watching it.
Okay, there's a very possible that you got it. I don't know. If you're torrenting, who knows? Either way, it's a fantastic rap.
Well,
like,
the reason I say that is
so
because I very distinctly remember Usopp's catch-up conversation.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that
Some
I
wild.
love that. Love that
Story.
opening.
My least favorite thing about that rap is that when they highlight Nami, they're basically like
LADY, Nami's not shy. Like, that's
just like Nami, she's a woman.
I mean, shit.
The
Navigator, cat burglar, thief. Nami's got a lot of shit going on.
Sir, they gave each person in that cast that wasn't named Luffy or Zoro like 5 words.
they did.
At least Doc Chopper's doctoring and Sanji's cooking.
Yeah, that's
Nami is a woman.
She's not shy.
the Sanji's cook and Chopper's
Doctoring.
doctoring gets me every time.
Because every subsequent line is less and less detailed by the time they
It's
get
less
to
and less
Sanji's
detailed,
cooking.
and the
Chopper's
rhymes are
doctoring.
lazier and lazier.
Easier every fucking line. I just
And then it
realized
culminates in One Piece. It's the name of the treasure
in the grand light.
gotta go set sail for One Piece. Oh, I love that opening so much.
So good.
God, would they
I just realized Sanji and Chopper only got 2 words for each of them.
Yes. Yes. That's how bad it just decreases as the lines go on. Yes. It's hilarious. And honestly, I don't know if we talked about this yet on the show, but the One Piece 4Kids thing is crazy. I just learned, or at least I just found out, because I didn't watch the One Piece 4Kids version of it, but like apparently, I guess spoilers if you haven't watched any One Piece and you're thinking about getting into it.
Yeah, go watch the
spoilers.
Go watch the 4Kids dub before you watch any of the Japanese dubs.
Yeah,
You have to go get the proper late 90s experience.
If you want
early
proper late
2000s
90s experience, go watch Ghost Stories. Everything
that too is wild. We'll talk about that either in a second or in another episode, because that is
I think
also
we're
wild.
approaching 2 hours. That'll have to be on a different episode.
Yes,
Because I want to talk about that.
yes, for sure. I would do too, actually. But apparently, Bellamere in the 4Kids doesn't get killed. She gets thrown in a dungeon somewhere.
And just never heard of again.
My
No
dude,
one-
I don't remember Bellamere.
Nami's parent figure. Yeah, the one that are
Wait, so she
Yes.
just gets abandoned? That's so much
She gets-
worse.
I was going to say she gets a worse fate than death.
I guess. But then it's like, okay, but where is this dungeon? And why doesn't Nami want to go find where
Don't
this
worry about
dungeon
it.
is on the
Don't worry about it.
island? Like,
Shut up. You're worrying about it.
Yeah.
Quit
like-
worrying about it.
Nami's like, she's gone.
Yeah, the backflips. It's always weird because like the backflips that 4Kids and WB, like any of those like cartoons would do in like the late 90s, early 2000s, the backflips they would do to censor things and like try to not imply death. But it's like you're getting these stories and narratives from Japan that does not have the same censorship levels or the same like social tableaus and taboos.
It just doesn't make sense to me because there are so many kids properties where they do deal with like death and more complex ideas than, oh, that's ketchup coming out of its chest.
Right?
Like I don't know about you guys. Like this, and the other thing is kids are gonna encounter that shit.
Well, I think the annoying part is that it's not the kids. It's very rarely the kids that's the issue. It's the kids' parents that write into these networks
true,
and are
like-
complaining about, oh, my poor Billy had to see.
My poor Billy, he's
This
crying right now because
normalized
Nami's
human
mom died and
concept.
he asked me what death is. How am I supposed to?
How am I supposed to tell him about this? I don't know. Just grow a fucking backbone and tell your kid that people die. Sorry.
Right.
How am I supposed to tell? Tell him.
So tell
That's
him.
how you tell him. You say,
Matter
well,
of fact, we just gave you a perfectly good example of what death is, and you can explain to your kid how sometimes the characters you like are gonna go away and they're never gonna come back because
there's no goldfish farm.
unless it's One Piece.
unless it's One Piece.
Because they might come.
Unless it's anime. Anime is the worst explanation of death. Let's explain death with Dragon Ball Z, shall we?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The lengths that
Mommy, if I find the Dragon Balls, will Daddy come back?
He'd have to stop sleeping with that whore of a secretary.
not the daddy balls, the dragon balls.
A universe where death is not a consequence at all. To the point that that they had to make like an arc about death finally being a consequence. in
Right.
fucking Super.
Oh my god.
It's like, no, motherfuckers, you can't. You wished back like entire planets and civilizations of people in like back-to-back spans. We
My
can't keep
favorite
doing
thing
this.
is Earth the only place that's got the Dragon Balls? Because these Dragon Balls are crazy.
No,
Like-
no. Earth and
Namek.
Namek both have Dragon Balls.
They have the Super Dragon Balls.
And then there's the Super Dragon Balls, which are universal. So basically, anywhere where a Namekian exists has Dragon Balls.
Okay.
Because the Dragon Balls are created by the Namekians, who are dragon people, essentially.
Okay.
Um,
That makes sense. Now that I know the lore, I'm no longer curious.
That's fair. As it turns out, knowledge is power.
It's surprising how long they were able to
Knowledge is
keep the Dragon Ball series running with those type of, I wouldn't say problems, but those type of I guess limitations, not limitations, the rules,
Yeah.
those rules. You can wish people back from death. Sure, you can just get stronger every time, every time. Just get stronger.
Which
It
is
works.
still a thing, even in the manga today, of like the last 3 villains have just wished themselves to be stronger than everybody else. And then someone proceeded to be stronger than them.
Yeah, like how are you going to top this? Oh, they just do.
They just do.
How are you going to top that? Oh, they just do. Is he faster now? No, that's the same speed we saw with Super Saiyan, but apparently it's faster.
No, it's not faster. But when everything is faster than light, then it doesn't matter.
It's crazy.
It
But
is
it's Dragon
crazy.
Ball. It's
But
the OG.
You watch Dragon Ball for stupid transformations and awesome crazy fights. Like,
Yep.
what else do you want?
But yeah, we've been talking a lot about anime. The last thing I
We
want to
have.
talk about with One Piece here is it's just funny seeing the thumbnail right under it for the video under there. One Piece
Yeah.
opening 26.
But every time there's a spoiler,
I think it speeds up, I think is what
I
I'm going to say.
hope so.
But if it was that, it would be nothing.
It gets faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how much faster?
Only by 30. It's only 30 seconds shorter.
Which I'm still surprised by, but like that's a spoiler.
It needs to be okay. It needs to be fast.
So it probably sped up.
How much faster? That's the question.
That
Sped
that,
up.
that
Oh, how much percentage faster does it get?
Sped up.
Oh, it's definitely speeding up.
Yeah.
already.
speeding up.
It's speeding up very
Speeding up.
quickly. Holy shit.
Oh my god! It's literally every fucking
everything.
every
It is.
goddamn frame. It's like
It's like a little, like fucking 5% faster.
It's already fast. The opening is already too fast for you to comprehend what's happening.
Mhm.
So that's so
Honestly,
fast.
I kind of half expected every one of those outfit changes to be another speed up.
Oh my gosh.
That ain't too crazy by the end of it, though. I think I will say I think my favorite of the but every time there's a X it gets faster is when there's like the fact that you can condense like the whole Shrek movie down to like 2 minutes. What was the one we watched?
every time they say B in the B movie.
There's there's that one.
I remember
That's
that
the
one.
quintessential one. I don't remember what they did in the Shrek movie, but they had a similar thing. But every time they say B in the B movie, it gets, what was it, 5% faster?
I don't know.
Probably.
To the point it was like,
I think it was 30 minutes long that the video was.
no, I want to say the video we ended up watching was like 5 minutes.
Really?
Because there was so many B puns back to back in the opening sequence that by the time you get through like the first 2 minutes of the movie, you're at like 3,000%.
Look at it.
Yeah, we're
Look at it
gonna
for me.
do this.
Research it for Deadly.
Yeah, we probably only have 15 to 30 minutes of film left. Film.
While he's looking that up.
7 minutes.
Oh
7
my,
minutes long.
That's nuts. No way.
Yeah, because it
We're
only
gonna
takes
watch
like
this later.
yeah, we'll watch it later. I'll link this for other people to watch it. If you manage to somehow get here and not have watched this, I don't know how you managed to get to this side of
the B
YouTube.
movie at 3,000% speed, except when they
They
say
say B. Oh, we're gonna binge this bullshit.
"Oh my god!"
Every time he takes a step, it gets 5% faster. We're gonna watch some really stupid shit later.
Holy shit! Okay, before they do that, I gotta recommend a manhwa.
That is right.
Yes,
we got to talk
I
about
was gonna
Manhwa
say,
now.
We have to move on.
I will say right before you do say that, small little bit of internet news, a little bit of YouTube news. MatPat of Game Theory is stepping back and handing the brains over. He is
What?
He is stepping back and essentially retiring.
to somebody else, or just like closing the?
No, to somebody else. So game theory will still be a thing.
Okay.
I think he's going to be stepping back into more of a like a directorial role, or at least like he's going to be helping run the business side of things. But he's as the face of game theory and as the theories that we've known for the last 10 years, he is going to be stepping out of that role and passing it off to some other.
Damn.
Some other
Was
folks.
that the video that was in the recommended that we saw?
Yes, it was. Yeah, that was that video.
Damn, that's crazy. That's a piece of. Did you guys see that Captain Sparkles is retiring too?
Yeah.
No, I missed that.
As a matter of fact, he says at the beginning of his video that the reason he's doing it, well, the reason he went on and decided to do it now is because he saw that Captain Sparkles video.
Honestly,
quite a few.
good for them.
Honestly, right? Like he has, like him and his wife have been running this shit for 10 years.
Mhm.
They got their son who's now becoming a toddler, and they really want to spend time with
How
him and
old
stuff
is
like
he
that.
now?
Like three or 4 years old, I think.
I'm MatPat.
Oh, 37.
37. Man, if I could retire at 37.
Right. I use the term retire. I don't think he's retiring. Now, granted, could he?
Could he?
Probably.
Yes.
He's probably made the money to retire at this point.
Mhm.
But yeah, no. He
But he's stepping
just-
back as a public face.
He's stepping out of the public space of it. So
And
he
they
can
said
actually
he
have
looks
time.
like he's gonna cry in that thumbnail.
Oh, he straight up just he's crying at the beginning. He is straight like as soon as this video starts, he
That makes
is
sense.
crying.
I mean, that's a really big step to take.
It's a super big step to take when that's been
yeah.
your life for 10 years, man.
That's a big transition.
Like so yeah, I'm not gonna say like I've been super into game theory as of late. I've been subscribed, but like I can only see a FNAF video so many times.
That spaghetti's not going to be on the menu anymore. No, don't like that metaphor. No, we don't like that metaphor. I guess
You don't even like spaghetti.
I don't, which is why it's perfect metaphor here.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
No, actually, I think MatPat's a wonderful person.
I think he's
and
a fantastic
that
person.
He makes decent content. I'm just not always interested in it.
I was just very tired of hearing about FNAF.
Yeah.
FNAF can only be brought up so many times before I kind of just get tired of it. But I'm very like, shout out to you, MatPat. You guys did this shit for 10 years. You controversy free for the most part. As far as I know, you don't have anything. There was like the one thing with obviously the complaints about the amount of FNAF content.
Yeah, but that's like a critique.
That's a
not
critique more than a controversy. There was the small thing of him like defending Scott Cawthon when like it came to light that Scott Cawthon was like a Trump supporter and a Trump donator. And it was like a lot of people were like obviously very angry with Scott Cawthon and then kind of angry with MatPat for kind of defending Scott Cawthon of like, look, y'all, the dude got his start as a Christian animator. Like y'all, it was this whole big thing. I guess not to get super deep into this, but it was kind of this thing of explaining. It was like, we know what FNAF has kind of become for a lot of people, but what your enjoyment of it cannot color who this person actually is. And a lot of people were more upset that they had built Scott Cawthon into this person that he never was.
Yeah.
Like just because you enjoy FNAF and a lot of people who enjoy FNAF are very liberal, very open-minded, very like LGBTQ supporting, very like left-leaning. Like just because that is who the community is does not mean that Scott Cawthon has to be that way. Say what you like and infer what you like from his donation of Trump's to Trump's campaign funds, but at the end of the day, that's his right to do that. Like, and that was pretty much MatPat's summation of it. Was like, Scott Cawthon's free to do whatever he wants. That's the entire point of our political system. And that's something that I had a lot of respect for MatPat for saying. But either way, like, dude made it 10 years and is able to gracefully like bow out at a time where he got to choose to do so.
He's not crying with the
forced to do it.
ukulele.
We'll talk about her. We'll talk about her someday. I didn't even know who she was until that happened.
I did, because there were some really annoying people at high school who liked her, but that's
Fair.
neither here nor there.
Some lady who had like a kid show and apparently might have been like a child.
Miranda Sings.
Miranda Sings. That's her
Yep.
name.
Well, she had produced some content on YouTube that was.
Do you know her?
Did you not know about this? Oh wow.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
She ended up being successful enough to get, I believe it was either a Netflix or a Hulu show.
Netflix.
I think it was Netflix.
Netflix show. And then it came out that she was
having very inappropriate conversations with minors.
Yes.
And like allowing some very inappropriate topics to go on, possibly sending lingerie to a minor and like asking a minor to run her social media shit, and then being just kind of an overall dick to that kid. And then when all that heat was up, her way of responding to all of it, against her fucking lawyer's better wishes, was to get out a ukulele and make a cringy ass fucking song about it.
I didn't watch the whole thing. I couldn't.
There was no good reason to watch the whole thing. She doesn't deserve the views.
I think I watched it through other people's like critiques about it, or at least them like reviewing it.
That's pretty much the way.
But I couldn't not watch it. It was like it
was a train wreck from start to finish.
Ironically, it was a train wreck from start to finish. Based on the song she sings, the
Toxic Gossip Train.
Toxic Gossip Train. It was a train wreck. You could tell as the song kept going.
How are we doing on time?
But
all right,
just want to make sure it's not complaining about going too late.
day.
Yeah, but anyway, we'll talk about her a different day. MatPat, congrats, man. You did it. You were able to buy yourself out, and I hope you get to enjoy whatever you do from here on out. I really hope you get to enjoy your wife and your child, because that is definitely something you deserve, man.
Fucking get it.
But that's a theory.
A game theory.
I'm not saying
Thanks for watching. All right. Enough of the sappy bullshit. Fluffy. It's time to change the genre.
It's time to change the genre. Or if you're looking it up, the Villainess flips the script is the title you'll probably find under.
That's a much better title.
Yeah, well, it's time to change the genre is where you'll find it for free.
Fair enough.
Villainess flips the script is where you'll find it. I think it's on Tappitude. If you read the first chapter, it'll take you there.
Okay.
I don't know.
There it is. Yeah, Tapas.
Yep. You can read it on Tapas.
I woke up inside my favorite novel, not as the protagonist, Luca Winterwald.
Winterwald.
What kind of fucking name is that? But it's Judith.
The Winterwald's name.
The Winterwald, Luca Winterwald. But it's Judith, his abusive aunt, and the first characters to die. Time for a rewrite. I'll hand Luca off to his loving, long-lost uncle as scripted, and then live my own life far from danger. At least that was the plan. When his uncle arrives, Luca suddenly calls out, "Don't leave." Now I must protect Luca from impending family tragedy, race him to become the hero, and turn this villainous ending upside down.
Lately, I've been recommending a lot of stereotypical main character, badass fighting stuff. We're going to a Regency romance Villainess novel. I love this story quite a bit. It's very, very charming. It's very lighthearted. It's a fun read. If you like romance, it's great. If you are familiar with isekais, it is subversive and plays with those genres in a couple really interesting ways. I won't directly spoil them, but there's more than meets the eye about a couple of the characters. So it is really fun. And then there's like interesting drama that happens. The central romance between Judith and I forget the uncle's name is deeply entertaining. Things really popped off in the last episode. It went crazy. This is why I'm talking about it right now, because I was looking at it, I was like, oh my god, it goes crazy.
85 chapters.
The drama really steps up, and there's like does a really good job of maintaining stakes, having interesting characters, and also still having like a lighthearted romance at the center of it. It is really good. I enjoy this one quite a bit.
Heck yeah.
Which is why it's been picked up by Tapas and is hard to find for free.
Damn.
But yeah.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Do you ever find out who the original character is who before they get isekai, or is it just like a
sometimes it depends on,
or is it supposed to be you, the reader?
No.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be the reader? But in this case, I don't think they. Sometimes they reference the actual character's name. I don't know if they do that in this one because there's like the whole identity. Like usually that only happens if you have other like higher beings or characters that are capable of seeing someone's soul directly. And then they're like, insert Korean name here. And then somebody else in the like happens in
Is it one we've heard about so far?
yes it is.
Greatest real estate.
Greatest real estate
Hell
agent.
yeah.
When they go to visit the King of Hell, he's like,
I still gotta read that.
yeah, that. But because usually, and the other case which I might bring it up is if a character is processing trauma from their past life that's irrelevant to the current plot, like body shaming or issues with feeling loved by their community. Those things will often come up. This one, I don't remember if we deal with that specifically. I think the character adapts to becoming Judith and is just kind of Judith, but has memories from our world and of the knowledge of the novel's content. So, yeah, very good.
Fair enough.
It's an excellent rendition into the villainess genre trope section. It doesn't go as hard as a lot of other villainess ones do. If you're interested in similar stuff, the Not So SEW, Not So Wicked Stepmother, and there's another one based around the Cinderella story. Both of those are pretty similar and very good as well.
Okay. Nice. Something I've always been kind of curious. Are you just going down the list of like recommended manga manhwa, or is there a reason you choose what you read over others?
So there's a couple different ways I go about it. It depends on how bored I am. If something new comes out on Azure Scans, I'm on their Discord, so anytime something new pops up, I read that automatically.
Nice.
Sometimes it catches my interest, sometimes it does not. Like they have a latest one about some demon lord descending into like a modern setting, and it's just boring. The other things that I'll do is I'll find tropes or like genre fictions that I really enjoy. Because that's what most manhwa is genre fiction. So like usually you're picking apart and enjoying the different details and variation of a specific genre. And so one of my favorite things to do is to get that tag, put it into Mangadex, and just go down the Mangadex pipeline. But that has been you can only go so far down the Mangadex before you're reading it and you stop finding things that really interest you. And so I'm actually kind of looking for better ways to find new content at the moment. I really, really want Kenmi's discovery and recommendation features to improve.
Yeah. Do they push? Can you search by artist/author?
I haven't thought of that.
I was going to say if they already make the things you like, that might be a better way to go about it. Or if you're looking for new stuff and just like don't want the random grab bag.
Yeah.
Getting stuff from artists/authors that you already know, write things that you enjoy, could be a way to go about it.
It is good. The challenging part about that is it's in another language.
Fair. Let's see. Do y'all have a?
But I do know that people like, but usually the discovery, because Kenmi has a lot of data on what people are reading, what people are, if you're people that read X, find X enjoyable. So if they, down the line, because I'm pretty sure it's just like one fucking guy doing this.
Fair.
If they get the funding or the ability to, I would love to see like more recommendation or a recommendation feature come out for this. I would enjoy that quite a bit.
Fair enough. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't really have like a sort by artist or search. Like maybe there's a search by artist. Oh my.
Right now, I don't think there is on this site. If you scroll down, you can see what they have. They have basically what's popular this month, what's new this month, and what's popular, period. So Honestly,
Is this specifically a manhwa site, or is this just?
it's manga and manhwa, so you can
Okay.
actually see that they've split it in between what's popular between manga and manhwa, and then just see all series. You can see Solo Leveling. is
Solo Leveling
on there.
#1, Triple S Class Survival Hunter, Nano Machines, Damn Reincarnation.
The
Omniscient
Reincarnation is
Reader's
pretty
Viewpoint.
good. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. A lot of people really like it. I personally think it's just okay.
Fair enough. Oh, they only have the one pricing tier.
Yeah.
Fair. Well, heck
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it's one guy who's just like, oh, what features are the best to add this month?
Fair enough. I mean, shit, that's not an easy thing to go about, especially I should learn database programming.
Yeah.
I keep like rubbing up against it, but never having like a reason to dive in and properly learn it.
I think that's because it's remarkably boring.
I know. Honestly, that remarkably boring means it's an easy job and it's easy to get paid thing. If I had stayed with Dominic, the next job I was like basically getting set up to take was going to be in database programming.
Yeah.
They were trying to get me on that team so bad.
Work with a couple people that do that. I could always ask them some questions if you want.
No. there's a reason I don't work there anymore.
No, okay. I meant if you ever wanted
I guess
to, like,
okay,
make
yeah, I did say I should learn it.
and like
but
learn the trade. I could be like, where is it good from?
I currently, yes. If the need ever comes up with the current company I'm working with, I will absolutely take that resource and that networking opportunity. As of right now, I have no reason to learn SQL, Java database, any of that right now. So
I mean, if you work with data tables in,
we do actually, but
you're
those are
already
pretty
doing, you're already
simple.
doing a little bit then.
True. The way we use it is we just are basically, I think, drawing in XML files, but it's very rudimentary. We don't really do a lot of it. Rudimentary.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to pull in these data tables that describe sprinkler systems and then create renderings of them. Because, oh my goodness, most 3D sprinkler system design software, oh my God, you're basically working with like lines and nodes, and there's not actually a great visual, and then they're crunched down into this like data table of parts and like connections. So yeah, I was like, we could just
really pull this in with a.
Well, the stuff is I've already built most of the back end logic to just kind of do that. I would just need to be able to build a system that can interpret that data
into something,
and also I want a better system for making more freeform stuff, but that's neither here nor there.
Fair enough. Some insider industry mumbo jumbo for you.
Yeah. Well, it's always like, I don't know if we'll keep this in or not, but it's always like when we are in production for new systems and we're creating new environments for those systems, procedural tools save so much time.
They do. That is one of the things about the current way that we work at my company is like we don't have a lot. There's some procedural stuff, and we've been kind of working on converting some other stuff over to procedural as we can, because they're now realizing, A, we have the team size to start doing that kind of stuff, and B, it's like the non-procedural stuff is starting to catch up with us.
If you ever need any help, I'm pretty fucking good at it.
This is true.
I have systems right now where you can drag in it, make a warehouse any size you want. I have a system where basically any asset that will be placed in anything that even resembles a grid, even slightly, you could take that, drop it in. It's pre-optimized.
Heck yeah.
I have a system for making whole sprinkler systems. I have a system for making HVAC systems. They're all really good, but most of them, well, the HVAC system is actually remarkably flexible, but it's hard to use because the interface sucks. Because you have to go in and be like, okay, so I have this branch, and off of this link in the branch, I want to make a branch. So I have to go out into like this array, into this subarray, and in this subarray, I have to put in the exact location of this thing, and I have to put in stuff. So the UI experience of it is awful because it's like not intuitive to use. It's not easy to adapt. But if you're doing it, if you're building stuff out, it can build it out quickly. It'll be a very efficient mesh in the scene.
Small aside for a sec.
What's up?
Do you use any C++? And are you all blueprints?
I'm pretty much all blueprints. I really
Do you
want to
find
learn
it
C++. But
See, it is very useful. Do you find it annoying that there is no array 2D native in blueprints?
oh, it's so
It's
annoying.
very annoying.
It's the most annoying. The amount of
Is this Unreal Engine for you guys?
Yeah, this is UE, Unreal Engine.
the amount of structures that contain arrays in my project is crazy.
It's crazy because literally you have to just have to make a structure with an array and then call that in as another array, and it's like
It's a
come on, bro.
really bullshit work.
It's a bullshit workaround. Most programmers will know exactly what we're talking about. If you don't worry about it.
If you don't, you're probably an artist.
Would it be?
Yeah.
Would it be so hard
To just have like, let me create
to be like, what's your data type? Hit array, and then inside that array, I want
right.
like I want the because like you basically or like even just have one of them be 2D array.
Exactly. Like there could just straight up be a 2D array. There's no good reason why there's not.
Wow,
That's correct. Oh man, but yeah.
you know, everything should be blueprints. I really want to get more into that because it's more efficient, and a lot of the stuff I tend to make is pretty math heavy and would benefit from C++.
One of the big things one of my coworkers has been doing is converting a lot of our plugin code from blueprints to C++. And it's been helping a lot with like efficiency and ease of use later on. And then obviously like C++ code, you can convert into blueprint nodes. So you can always implement it as a blueprint as need be. But it's in, it is something I haven't had to learn too much about yet, but it's something I do really want to learn is C++ programming for Unreal.
Well, I started to get into it, but it was difficult because I was learning how to do C++, how blueprint systems worked, all at the same time. And then the goal that I had was also pretty complex. And then I found it already existed. So I was like, okay, great, cool.
And I guess that's the thing is like, you just have to get a project and you have to do a hello world. And just like, okay, how do I do hello world in Unreal using C++?
Because you got to build it. You got to start small and build up with something that complex.
Right. Because I always try to, I tried that method of like, all right, I have this complex problem. I need to figure out, hey, I can use this and go on and start learning. Because like, I figured that'd be like, that is a focused thing. Down the line is like, no, there's a lot of small shit you have to know how to do and you get lost in that.
There's a lot of times that's worked out very well for me. Like I learned very quickly like what was going on with the blueprints, how things were structured. Oh, Slate has 2 different layers. Because when I'm inside of this thing, everything's empty. But when I'm inside of this thing, everything has content. So I was able to figure that stuff out pretty quickly. But I say pretty quickly, we're talking like it took me about a day to figure that out.
Right.
Right. And then going down and learning the basics of C#, starting to do the basic. It took me about a day to start learning the basics of C# so I could read some of the code. And we have a lot of stuff on our plate. And when we're talking about how long it was going to take me, it was about 3 weeks that I was spending on this, that I was just learning.
Just
like learning and doing stuff. And that's when I'm not getting distracted because of my ADHD. Yeah. So the other thing is if I get hyperfixated on something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's done. It's basically, don't even worry about it. but if I don't, then it is challenging. And it wasn't grabbing my attention in the way that I needed it to. The long story short, it just wasn't on the cards for me to devote that amount of time during the work day compared to what we needed to get done. And that's why one of my goals for this year is to start expanding my development options, right? Because right now, basically, if I'm pointing to my experience, I'm like, I'm a fucking blueprints wizard, dude. I fucking got you.
Right.
Not only will I do blueprints, I'll build you blueprints that can build you more blueprints on the back end. We'll add additional systems and functional libraries. We'll go crazy.
Hell yeah.
But blueprints can only get you so far. and start learning how to translate that logic into C++.
Mhm.
Would be very, very valuable skill to have.
Yeah, because being able to work in Source Unreal is, I think if you want to work with Unreal at a high level, being able to work with Source Unreal, so getting a source build of it, and then
I was looking at a job description for a position at Wizards of the Coast the other day. And that
I don't know if I would go work for them right now.
don't know if it's a good idea or not.
But
That's
Die?
stuff about the intro.
oh, the camera just closes.
Yeah.
I thought you said it died. I thought it was like the fucking
No,
battery went out.
sorry.
Is it recording again?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be good. We were talking about Watsy and the job. What about intros?
Something I was gonna say, but I decided we're gonna mention it later when we're not on camera.
Okay, fair enough.
It's just relevant to like production stuff.
Speaking of talking about things later when we're not on camera, I think we have been going for about a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours now.
Yep.
I
think it's time.
Yeah, I think it is time that we go on and call this an episode. That's
Yeah.
episode 7 down in the bag.
In the bag.
What did you say?
I said in the sack.
Oh, okay.
I won't take it back.
It's weird because I thought you said exact, and that was weirder to me than anything else.
No.
Fluff was spitting for a minute though.
He was.
He was
He
spitting for
was.
a minute.
He was in the sack, and I won't take it
He
back.
won't take it back. And that's a fact.
I do crack.
That's why I got plaque.
All right,
Have a good night, y'all.
Take this man's mic. Take this man's mic away from him.
Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Peace.
My friends are black.
Tell me you got it.